Led Zeppelin stuff. Led Zeppelin and Zeppelin stuff. Led Zeppelin or Greta Van Fleet. Does anybody know anymore? Experimental stuff. Lou Reed and Metallica weren't even this good, man. Come on. How about Lulu? Give it up. Woo! I walk through the fields with bare feet. What a horrible album. Led Zeppelin stuff. Talking about Led Zeppelin. Just two guys who don't know a lot of things, but they know Led Zeppelin. So yeah, guys, hello. We're here and we're gonna talk about Led Zeppelin today.
That little introduction there was done by me, and me and Alex.
Yeah, write that down, guys. I want the Wikipedia page for the. Oh, I just hit the microphone. Josh has left the building. Oh my God. Yeah. Anyway. I don't even know, where were we? What were we talking about?
Well, I was just mentioning that the introduction song there was.
Oh yeah,
I performed.
Oh
it.
yeah, I was joking that it should be written on Wikipedia that it was performed by the artist known as M.E.
Yeah, me.
Otherwise me.
Yeah.
No, it was Kevin.
Yeah.
Kevin and I wrote the track. I think last week.
Yeah, Alex came up with an improv, and then I structured it up a little bit, and it sounds very good, I think. And then there was Alex there with his little improv voiceover. How'd you guys like that?
Oh yeah, I had a blast doing that. That was really funny. I mean, honestly, I gotta say, this has to be one of my favorite topics, and like being able to do this is a really cool one. This is one that I think any person who has ever picked up a guitar probably is interested in this episode, because
I knew that all the Zeppelin I listened to would turn out at some point, you know.
Yeah, you're like, I'll be able to, do something for knowing stuff. Led Zeppelin is such a special band. In my opinion, I kind of switch back and forth. I go between Pink Floyd and Led Zeppelin as the greatest band of all time, in my opinion. And then the Beatles are number 3. I have the Beatles and the Stones tied at like 3, so I'm weird. Right now I'd go Pink Floyd, Zeppelin, Stones, Beatles. Another day I might be going, Zeppelin, Floyd, Beatles, and the other guys. Rolling Stones.
Yeah, I'd have to do a little bit of research to give you like a list, but Led Zeppelin's definitely
there's so much.
Probably number 1 for me.
If we're talking everything, I gotta have Bob Dylan up there. He's way up there. David Bowie's up there for me. Miles Davis is way up there. John Coltrane. I mean, Beethoven. I mean, I like a little bit of everything.
Talking about influential artists or your favorite?
Well, and we were talking earlier today. We were talking about classical music and rock.
Yeah. And
what better time to bring it up than Led Zeppelin? I mean, John Paul Jones.
Oh yeah.
Was so important to the band because he brought this whole classical element that other rock bands had no idea how to do it. The only band I think at that era that could contend with him in that regard is Deep Purple, and that's because all those guys were classically trained.
Yeah, well,
but Zeppelin's like special. They're so them.
Yeah, the reason that they could go blend a different bunch of styles like that together was because Jimmy and John Paul Jones were both the number 1, or like
they were
up
so
there,
important.
like in
they
the
were
top.
The guys.
Yeah, they were
in
the top
studio.
Sessions guitar players, guitar and bass, and I guess keyboard too with John Paul Jones. But from what I understand, is Jimmy Page was on around 90% of all things that came out of Britain in 1961 to 66, around there.
Mm-hmm.
Then he joined the
History
Yardbirds.
with Kevin.
He joined the Yardbirds the Yardbirds with Jeff Beck.
Jeff Beck was there, and Eric Clapton was in there before then. That's insane.
He was actually
he started as the bass player.
Jimmy Page was actually offered to join
when Clapton was there.
When Clapton was going to leave.
Oh, okay, but they went with Beck instead.
No, Jimmy Page turned it down because he could make more money as a session player.
Oh yeah,
and he could do 3 sessions a day doing that. As
better to grind
Yardbirds
for
at the time
and...
were like known as like a one-nighter show band, you know.
Yeah, and then when he did the New Yardbirds, which turned into Led Zeppelin, I mean, he kind of took over the band, and on their last record that they did, a little song was on that called "Dazed and Confused."
Yeah,
and oh my goodness, if you were sitting there in 1969. If you could say you could add any band ever, any act to Woodstock, who would you want to play? You know, a lot of people try and say Beatles, but the Beatles couldn't have played their stuff that they were coming out with live.
I hear
Zeppelin.
I hear Zeppelin.
Dazed and Confused, fucking epic.
I hear Zeppelin more often than I hear the Beatles for that. Actually, when I ask that question,
because you add Led Zeppelin to Woodstock, that's an incredible lineup. But, I mean, the lineup was already incredible.
Apparently, they did a show at the same time that had a bigger turnout than Woodstock. That's less talked about.
I think it's Isle of Wight was a big thing back then because there was one where it was like King Crimson, Bob Dylan. I think the Beatles were rumored as playing there. I think they might have done solo things or whatever. I mean, I think it was like John and Yoko played.
Yeah.
And all other kinds of weird stuff like that. And you have to sit there and go, wow. Nobody remembers that show.
Yeah.
It also might have been, I have a book on, it's called What a Perfect Haze over there. I'm actually going to get up. No, it's, Monterey Pop. Monterey Pop. It was the same year, and you had a lot of, like, some of the same people were at that, too, and Janis Joplin was there, and all kinds of good things. Jimi Hendrix and Otis Redding did a thing together at that, I believe, because I have the record. It's pretty good. You know, with Zeppelin hit, the first album came out in '68 in the UK, but it didn't come out to '69 here in the US.
You might have that. You have that backwards, actually.
Are you sure?
Yeah, because
it was Atlantic Records was there. Yeah, they released it here. Shoot.
Yeah, it came out March in Britain. It came out in March the next year in Britain. And it had already been out.
You know what's really weird? If you read stuff now, Led Zeppelin's early albums all have these sparkling reviews, but when they came out, people fucking tore them apart.
The Rolling Stones review?
Rolling Stones.
They said that they're trash.
They gave it like a 1.5 star or something.
Like they sound horrible. They said that they're like...
Zeppelin 3, they said, was a terrible Crosby, Stills, and Nash album. And it's like... How can you hear Immigrant Song and the blues song, Since I've Been Loving You? Tangerine's a beautiful track.
Yeah. One thing with Tangerine is musicians will know this. The solo's in a different key, which is a very hard thing to do in my own experience.
And he also plays this weird pedal that drops him 2 octaves and puts a fuzz on.
On the solo?
Yeah.
Oh, that's why he's way up there.
Yeah, he's playing up high, but it sounds like he's playing on like the like bass thing. It's because it was it's called like a blue box, and it does adds a fuzz, but also 2 octaves down. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I mean, honestly, you look at when they first started though, 1969. Let's just use that as, let's say, Zeppelin 1 and 2 came out then.
When they toured.
Because that keeps it easy. That first album, Good Times, Bad Times, is the first thing people heard from Zeppelin.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
It's such a driving beat. Yeah, like the drumming on it is insane. Like,
I would have loved to start this podcast with that.
Yeah,
but
legally we can't.
It would probably be bad.
I mean, that'd be great to support Led Zeppelin more. But, you know, they don't need our support. They are a self-sufficient band.
I think they're fine.
Yeah. One thing that
the second best-selling band of all time. You know, I think they're doing okay.
One thing with the Yardbirds is Jimmy Page finally joined it with Jeff Beck after he was the one that suggested Jeff Beck to be in it. And Jimmy Page joined, and both Jeff Beck and Jimmy Page were in the Yardbirds for a good month or two. But like, imagine if they stayed together, like that would be insane.
That'd be a crazy lineup.
That would be an insane lineup. But
Jeff Beck can play with the best of them, man.
But Jeff Beck, I guess he couldn't keep it together, and he left the Yardbirds, and then the rest of the band kind of fell apart. And Jimmy Page kept it together and reformed it with Robert Plant,
John Bonham, and John Paul Jones.
Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing about this band. This is one of those special bands where, like, you can't replace any of the members and have it still work.
One thing that I think is amazing is they met so, like, randomly. Like, Jimmy and John Paul Jones knew each other because from their session work.
And then Robert and John
Plant was like Jimmy Page went to a bunch of different people for the drums and singing, but like he got recommended Robert Plant by someone I couldn't say who, but he went to him and then he figured out he's amazing, and then he went to look for drummer. Robert Plant kept recommending John Bonham, and then he finally went and heard him play.
Oh, John could beat those drums, man.
Yeah.
Nobody drums like he does. Like, people try playing hard, but even like the guy who comes closest is probably Keith Moon from The Who.
Oh yeah.
But even he is just something about the way John played those things. Like, he beat the ever living shit out of them.
Even metal drummers don't come close to John.
Like,
Bonham.
you can listen to Dave Lombardo from Slayer, and he doesn't even come close to hitting it as hard.
Yeah, like. It's
a Lamb of God guy.
Chris Adler. Yeah.
He was on a Megadeth album. That was kind of cool. But
see, the thing is with
Led Zeppelin.
John Bonham, he did like double bass pedal work with one pedal. They didn't have a double bass pedal back then, I don't think.
No, that didn't come around until the '80s. When Slayer was like the first band to use a double kick.
Yeah.
But it's really funny because. You listen to that first album, Good Times, Bad Times, Communication Breakdowns on there. You've got Babe, I'm Leaving You.
Yeah, that's on there, I think.
Yeah, it's on there.
Yeah.
Let's see, Dazed and Confused is on it. They did a cover of the Yardbirds track, but Jimmy Page wrote it, so he's like, it's my track anyway. So.
For what?
Dazed and Confused was on a Yardbirds album before it was on.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Let's see, what else is on Zeppelin 1?
Zeppelin 1, well, Babe, I'm Gonna Leave You is actually a rendition of a song by Joan Baez.
Yeah.
A folk song.
I do.
There's a couple songs on there that are actually...
I really like Zeppelin 1.
You Shook Me.
You Shook Me is a good blues track.
Yeah, it's from... I couldn't tell you who it's from, but that's a blues track that he brought. Black Mountainside was actually...
That's good.
That's
folk.
That's from a track, Black Water Side. That's his rendition of it. And I Can't Quit You, Baby, I think.
Yeah, I Can't Quit You, Babe. I Can't Quit You, Baby. That'd be just a Bieber song.
Baby. No, it says Baby right there. I Can't Quit You, Baby.
No, that's not right.
I can't quit you, babe. Yeah, that's how they say it, baby.
I can't quit you, babe. You can't hit Robert Plant like 8 octaves lower than him. Like, doesn't work.
I got a deeper voice than him.
You're like, I can't quit you, babe.
I can't quit you, babe.
That was close.
Yeah,
you tried.
Yeah.
I like the effort, Kevin.
Yeah. Note, I have no
vocal
singing.
ability.
Yeah, I have no vocal training at all, other than me trying to figure out cartoon characters' voices and stuff. I can do a good Kermit the Frog, but yeah.
What if Kermit did a Led Zeppelin song?
I can't quit you, baby. But I gotta put you down for a little while. Dude, like the layering that it's got to be both Jimmy and John Paul Jones working together with that laying there, but like the layering of just like that blues track underneath that, like.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
just like there's always something underneath something else with Led Zeppelin. Like they're always playing like a classical measure underneath like blues or something.
And their songs are weird because like you could take out one part and it'd still probably work. it would work in a weird way.
It depends on what
so
parts you're taking out, but like you couldn't take one of them out and it would work. Like if you took like John Paul Jones out, like you'd know that something was missing there. Like as much as people joke about John Paul Jones, like all right, let me clear something up for you guys. If you guys don't know that John Paul Jones is an amazing musician, then you should probably do some research, because there's like I commonly hear people always say like, oh yeah, it's Jimmy Page, John Bonham, and Robert Plant that makes Led Zeppelin.
Yeah,
and it's just like you realize that John Paul Jones was there like structuring a lot of
Stairway would not be the same without him.
I don't think a lot of it would be the same without
no, there's so much. No Quarter. You don't have that song without John Paul Jones. That's one of the best.
If you're going to go like In the Light, In the Evening, those types of songs you wouldn't have. Even Dazed and Confused.
I love one of my favorite tracks that gets so underlooked, Cara Salambra on In Through the Outdoor. That's one of my all-time favorite Zeppelin tracks, because it's the only like prog song outside of Achilles' Last Stand they did.
Yeah,
Achilles' Last Stand.
I didn't like. That's not really my like. I kind of like skipped over that song a lot because Karis Umbrella, like Achilles' Last Stand, that's one of my favorite songs.
Can't skip that one.
That's one of my favorite songs. It's 10 minutes, but you have to listen to the whole thing.
You would skip past Karis Umbrella?
I listen to it a lot. I've listened to it plenty of times, but like, it's just like, out of all the other songs, it's so like, it is different than a lot. I mean, they're all going for different styles, which is how Led Zeppelin does, which that carries on that thing. On Coda, Bonzo's I'm gonna pronounce it wrong.
Bonzo's Montreux.
Is that what? No, it's like Matrix or something. It starts with an I guess it's Mantra. I didn't know that Mantra ends with an X, but we're all learning things. But yeah, it's Bonzo's Mantra. That's actually his I wouldn't say it's his rendition. It's just his like way of playing, like this really good drummer that he liked. I forget. I read it in a book, LZ75, that follows someone that writes for, I think, Rolling Stone on their 1975 tour. Mm-hmm. It's a really good book to check out, and you get like the view of somebody that was with the band. Like they go to the International Hyatt House, and like you hear about some crazy stuff there. Like they're just riding motorcycles down the hallway and stuff like that. Like that's
oh yeah.
That's one of Led Zeppelin's like biggest things, is that they in the International Hyatt House, whenever they get there, some crazy shit would happen.
I think everybody's probably worried about me because I wasn't here for a little bit there. It was all Kevin, and it's like, no, I'm munching on some goldfish crackers because Pepperidge Farm remembers. So,
and I have a lot of knowledge on Led Zeppelin. I can just keep talking.
So see, it works out for me because I could just have Kevin go off on a tangent and just eat some goldfish crackers. So I think I'm going to do that.
Yeah, he can sit there and gain some weight there. Jeez, I'm sorry.
It's like a handful of goldfish crackers is like 25 calories. Like, what the hell?
Hang on, let me see.
Yeah, serving's 55.
A serving is 55, and it's 150 calories.
A handful's like 10.
Yeah. Just eat the whole thing. You'll be all right. 6 servings. You'll be all right. All right.
Kevin, I don't like your attitude, Kevin.
Coda was their last album, but it wasn't actually an album that they
didn't really. It was never intended to be.
Yeah, it was the songs that
released.
Didn't get put on other albums and things that they wanted to put on.
There's some good stuff on there.
There's some really good stuff
Kevin,
on there.
let's go in order though. Let's go through these albums in order. We'll come back to it.
Yeah, I was just at that part, so I was just
Kevin,
finish a thought. Okay.
No,
you can
do your thought. Do your thought.
No, I was just because I was talking about Bonzo's Mantra.
Yeah. Okay. Talk about it.
I did. It's all right.
So you're done?
Got through it. Jeez, so rude.
Kevin.
Led Zeppelin 1. So
let's go in depth. Let's analyze this album. I was gonna say album. but I knew it was wrong.
This album. Okay.
Goldfish crackers don't help
We
you
talked
talk.
about Good Times, Bad Times. That's a shorter song. It's 2 minutes. 2 minutes.
It's a great
or
track,
about
though.
almost 3 minutes.
It gets you hyped for everything that's to come.
It lets you know what everything.
They always had great
ready
album
for it.
openers. I mean, the next one definitely opened up great, but we're gonna get into that.
Get to that. Yeah. Then it goes to "Babe, I'm Gonna Leave You." I used to tune my guitar to that tune. If you ever try and learn that, or if you just listen to it closely enough, every single time he goes through a measure, it's different.
He plays it different every time.
He plays it every time. So it's a hassle to learn that song, but it sounds amazing. It's a great acoustic
You can
song.
do it.
Yeah. I mean, even if you learn a few parts, you can keep rounding it. And it sounds close. Baby, I'm gonna leave you.
I ain't joking, woman.
Jumping ahead there.
Yeah, we're doing a duet.
Yeah.
Kevin and Alex sing Led Zeppelin on a hot, steamy night. That's. I want the Blu-ray. Thank you.
How to lose subscribers fast.
How to lube up some scrub.
There we go.
Some scrub subscribers.
Then we
We're
got
making up words, man.
Then we got "You Shook Me" and then "Dazed and
That's
Confused."
good. Yes.
And "Your Time Is Gonna Come."
Yeah.
That's a great track. It kind of rounds off the front half of the album there, and then it gets a little different with a folky song, "The Black Mountain Side."
Oh yeah.
Yeah, a little instrumental, 2-minute song. It's not long at all, but it sounds pretty fucking gnarly. Then "Communication Breakdown." That's gotta be my.
That's like the first punk song, man.
That's gotta
It
be
has
my favorite
attitude.
song on that album, though. Like, I don't like punk music, but the solo on that.
It's also so metal. Like metal and punk came from that song, man.
And I feel like they don't get credited as much for that because you hear.
Everybody's like the Beatles invented everything, and Led Zeppelin was just a second.
Well, I mean, I
hand.
hear Black Sabbath, they're metal, and then.
But Zeppelin was before Sabbath, man.
Even with opening of the next album, that song, I'm not going to say what song it is because we'll get to it. That song was the first song that cued the phrase heavy metal.
Oh yeah.
And this song, I guess people consider it to type proto-punk type style.
Oh
but
yeah.
I consider it close, pretty heavy metal type.
You listen to Randy Rhoads up with Ozzy.
Yeah.
It's got a little bit of communication breakdown and a little attitude.
Yeah. It's also more sophisticated than a punk song because punk songs don't have solos.
Yeah. We hate solos. Solos are terrible. We're so much better than them.
They're pretentious.
But then you're like, we're too good for solos. You realize that makes you a pretentious asshat, right?
Yeah.
You know what? No, you're pretentious. It's like the people who complain about pretentious things the most are the most pretentious people. And I think it's been proven. They do all kinds of studies, and it shows people who have all those kind of tendencies are the people who complain about them the most because it just, I guess, reminds them of themselves, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
Yeah, the next track on the album is "I Can't Quit You, Baby," which is what it says on there. And he says it's "babe." This says it's "baby."
It's definitely
Get back
babe.
to us and let us know.
If you hear the song, he definitely sings "I Can't Quit You, Babe."
Yeah, I know. I've listened to it so
So there's
many
no
times.
way it's "baby."
I'll have to look on the actual CD.
Or
But
it's called that, and he doesn't.
He doesn't
sing
say it at all. Yeah, but I know you're not telling me to jump forward here, but "I Can't
But he
Quit
says
You." "I Can't Quit You, Baby" is also on Coda. There's another version of it, and it's actually more. I guess it's later in their career, so it's actually interesting to see how they evolved it over time. It's definitely more solo-esque. There's more melodic notes in there. Then the let me get it out here. The closing
Today, Junior.
The closing track on the Led Zeppelin 1 is "How Many More Times."
Oh yeah. How many more times?
You treat me the way you're gonna do. Yeah, amazing.
That sounded more like NSYNC than Led Zeppelin. Kevin's never gonna sing again.
Yeah, he killed my entire
Your hopes and dreams are done.
confidence there.
Confidence is gone.
Jesus
Now
Christ.
he can't even talk on the microphone anymore. He's failing.
Performance anxiety.
Oh no, Kevin's all over.
On to Zeppelin 2 here. The opening song, your favorite one, I think. Whole Lot of Love. It is a heavy track.
Oh,
Heavy track.
absolutely! It's so freaking awesome.
It's split up with an insane, like, I don't even know what the fuck's going on.
Zeppelin 2 is
there.
my favorite album by him, and it's one of my favorite all time because I can put on Zeppelin 2, and as soon as that needle drops on my record, and I hear as soon as that cuts in, all of a sudden I'm like transfixed, and I'm like, whoa.
It has such a good variety of music on it, and sounds, dude.
Ramble On?
Yeah, Ramble On. That's one of my favorite songs.
That's one of my all-time favorite songs.
Yeah. The Lemon song. That's a good one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they had. So if you're a recording musician, you know that sometimes you can't just record things separately. It doesn't work that way. That was one of those songs. They had to set up mics and play it live, basically. So that song is them playing in a room together all at once. They're not like recording each part individually, which is the standard way to record music. And Alex is showing me some.
I gave him the bird.
Yeah. We're skipping around here, though.
Let's go through their cabin.
All right, wait. Let's go back to Whole Lot of Love here. The middle of the song there.
When it breaks off.
Where he throws in the theremin.
Oh yeah.
I think that's a newer. So that's the type of. If you don't know what a theremin is, that's that type of
down inside, woman, you need.
That's what Robert Plant sounds like. That's not a theremin.
No. Robert Plant does that on the track.
He does do that.
Going,
yeah, that
and it goes from left to right. Yeah, it's so crazy.
Let me explain what a theremin is. If you don't know what that is, I'm pretty sure it's a more recent type of technology, mid 40s around there.
Yeah, 40s, 50s.
But if you think of
50s
what
sci-fi used it all the time.
If you think of what a UFO sounds like when it's like.
That's a theremin.
Yeah, that's a theremin.
Jimmy Page put a fuzz box after it, and then fucking went crazy.
And he just went like this, sonically, blows you. Yeah. With what Robert Plant is going on too.
Welcome to Guys Talking About Stuff, where we talk about blowjobs and alien. We're talking about alien blowjobs. So next time a quick tangent, real quick. This is one of the funniest things of all time. I was watching the History Channel. It was one of those alien shows. And they're talking about how, they're testing these women. And they always test the women to see if, they were impregnated by an alien, this, that, and the other thing. They always test to see that way. But why do they never test to see if there's a human dad? Like some guy found an alien, decided to have his way. You look out your window. Ted's butt fucking an alien. He's going to town on that bitch.
I'm just trying to figure out what happens when this goes on.
Somebody on the show said that question. They're like, well, what about a human father? And they're like, nobody had ever thought of that. Nobody ever thought of some hillbilly finding an alien and fucking it. But there's some weird motherfucker out there, maybe a listener.
Yeah.
Who's like, they found E.T., they'd be like, E.T. finger, you're not going home, you're going to Browntown. We just went from PG-13 to NC-17 real quick.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
We lost 18 viewers. And we only have 20. You know?
But we gained 2 back somehow.
We got E.T. because he liked our joke, and we got Steven Spielberg for making an E.T. joke. He's like, I'm still relevant. And, you think about that. E.T. came out in 82, and it's still relevant.
Yeah, that's
Every
true.
time it's released, people buy it. I have the 4K. I got it for my birthday. But that's the thing. 82, that's what? 37 years ago?
Yeah, that's a very long time. It just shows that some things really hold up.
Zeppelin does, though, man. Their first album, 50 years ago, man?
Yeah.
50 years.
Just 50th anniversary not that long ago.
Yeah. And you got Zeppelin 1 and Zeppelin 2 is going to be is 50 this year.
Yeah.
So Zeppelin 2, man, I mean, the first time I listened to that all the way through, I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah, and believe it or not, they wrote that on the road. They
Wow.
wrote Led Zeppelin 2 on the road when they did Zeppelin 1, and then they quickly jumped on the road, and then they put out Zeppelin 2, 3, and 4 real quick, and then they took a little break. And that was actually due to Robert Plant. He blew his voice out and needed a little vocal tunement. And when they came
Did
back...
you say he lost an octave?
When they came back in 74, late 74, I think, he was down an octave after that. So no more wailing immigrant song like that.
What year did you say this was?
What do you mean? The year they came back?
That his vocals had a problem.
That was 72 or 3, end of 2 maybe. That was when
Before
they stopped
Houses of the
touring.
Holy,
That was-
or
So they put out 2, 3, and 4 real quick, and then they stopped touring for like a year or 2, and then I think that was because of Robert. They overworked.
that makes sense because if you look through, you got 1, 2, 3, and 4. So 68, 69, 70, 71.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have Nothing from 72. Then you have Houses of the Holy, 73. Physical Graffiti, 75. Presence, 76. Then there's a bit of a gap because Robert Plant's son died, and he blamed Jimmy Page's occultism and stuff. Yeah. And then Through the Outdoor, 79. John Bonham died in 1980. And then Coda in 82.
Yeah.
I think with that, the rest of the Zeppelin 2, what else do we have to say about it?
Well, that was just the first song. That was just the first song.
Wow.
The second.
What a great career,
Yeah,
man.
the second song is "What Is and Should Never Be."
Oh, it's one of the best. I
And-
love that one.
And I have a question. You think Metallica got their song name? what is and should not be? Like
the things that should not be.
Yeah, like it's
And
a
then,
little
like,
similar
Wherever
there.
I May Roam's
Yeah.
pretty close. Like, Metallica just like, Stairway to Metallica. You know, like,
But yeah, you got what is
Metallica, we
what
found
is
out the
and
truth.
what should never be. They're all
Led
great songs.
Zeppelin
I'm gonna
is the
stop saying
original.
that's a great track because I'm gonna say that.
Led Zeppelin is the only real band. Hashtag Greta Van Fleet.
Oh God.
We'll get to them. We will get to them.
Then you got the Lemon song, which I said a little bit about. That's an interesting one. It's some open notes, and then Hendrix chord there. It's the Queen term there for that one chord I always forget how to play. Then you got a little softer tone song, Thank You.
Oh, that's a really great song.
That's
I
a
love
great song, yeah. And it brings it down a little bit just before another heavy song. It's like they could have started a whole second album on this one, Heartbreaker. Heartbreaker, and the song that comes right after it.
Oh, they work so well.
Living, Loving Maid.
Yeah,
She's just a woman.
loving. She's just a
She's
woman.
just a woman.
It works so good after.
All right, let's talk about the solo and Heartbreaker for a second there.
He had the guts to cut everybody out and then just go for it.
Yeah, like go for it, like all out, like
The original Eruption.
yeah, for real.
It was
Like
the middle of Heartbreaker.
Van Halen's sitting there like, how can I improve on this?
Got to do the tapping.
Yeah, yeah, that's
I'm gonna do some finger tapping, and I'm also gonna tap Valerie Bertinelli.
yeah. Look
All
up.
of our '80s fans just had a chuckle.
You guys should
we gave
look
them a
up.
laugh. And then they see Wolfgang Van Halen, and they get another laugh.
Look up a live version of a
I'm sorry,
Heartbreaker
Wolfgang.
solo, and it's an amazing thing to watch. Just how he navigates the board there. And then you got Ramble On, which is
One of the best tracks.
one of the best tracks. It's about one of the best.
Lord of the Rings.
One of the best things. Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. There's a line in there, the darkest depths of Mordor, met a girl so fast.
He
Like,
says something about Gollum, yeah.
yeah, Gollum and that evil.
Yeah. And that evil one slipped
away with her.
Slipped away with her.
Yeah, the ring.
Yeah.
Gollum takes the ring and the.
Amazing song, yeah.
We got to do Lord of the Rings because that's
good.
mean,
that'll be coming up in a long time. I
think I've told you about this before. Like, I wish it was Zeppelin, but they wanted the Beatles to do a Lord of the Rings movie directed by Stanley Kubrick.
Yeah.
Which would have been really
I feel
fucking
like that
weird.
would have been an upbeat thing with the Beatles in it. Like if they did Zeppelin, like all the Zeppelin members, it would have stayed dark. Like
would have been darker. See, that's my thing. Like the Beatles are so Marvel, but DC's like Led Zeppelin. Like Led Zeppelin's got like some depth to them.
Yeah.
And like. Just like Batman is so much better than anybody Marvel has, but meanwhile, like, DC's been making terrible movies.
Yeah,
Okay, how about that? I'll defend this. DC's made a couple of terrible movies, a couple of meh movies, and a couple of good ones. The DC EU. But you talk about before Man of Steel came out, everything DC did outside of Superman 3 and 4, I think are at least okay.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Marvel to that point, oh my gosh, before Batman Begins came out, like, everything Marvel had done was, like, either atrocious or pretty bad, except for Spider-Man and X-Men.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. Those
two good things.
Good. But one was, weren't they Fox? They were
Fox.
Yeah, so
they weren't Marvel. Marvel Studios' first thing was Iron Man in 2008, and then Avengers was 2012 when Dark Knight Rises came out.
They did a good job with X-Men. I like the X-Men's, though. But
oh, yeah. But for me, I'm like, you got Batman Begins, which started the superhero craze. Yeah. You have Dark Knight, which is the pinnacle of superhero film. Then you have Dark Knight Rises, which is a great ending.
Batman started that, but didn't Spider-Man come out before that?
It did, but it was never on the same level as Batman Begins.
Yeah, I know, but that jump started it for real.
It jump started.
But I think
X-Men in 2000 was the first one.
I think that first Spider-Man with William Dafoe and stuff really that kind of put it on the map a little bit. And
it's
then,
really hokey
and then
though
Christian
when you go back
Nolan's.
and watch them.
Oh yeah. But
they don't hold up like Christopher Nolan's movies. All of them are worth a watch.
But William Dafoe always stands up with his performance.
Killing the Spider-Man. He has the same scene Gollum has in the Two Towers.
Yeah.
No, they don't have you.
The habits of the stupid habits of
Juicy nobody loves you. I got goldfish in my mouth. I can't do it. Let me swallow and I'll try again.
So that's the basis of Ramble On.
That's Ramble On right there. Willem Dafoe talking into a mirror in The Green Goblin in Spider-Man 1. That's Lord of the Rings.
And then you got one of John Bonham's greatest performances, Moby Dick.
Moby Dick. That's a great riff, though.
The guitar part in it is...
The drum solo at the end is pretty crazy.
As a guitar player, that riff still made me want to learn that song. And it's just like such
even though it's a drum solo.
It's like so...
It's one of the most famous instrumental tracks.
Yeah, it's great. And if you listen to it live, it's like 20 minutes.
They even talk about it in Step Brothers.
They do, yeah.
When they're like, I'm going to go play Moby Dick on your drum set with my balls. I one time misspoke and said that instead of Will Ferrell, I said it was Will Smith and John C. Reilly in that movie. And I said that Will Smith said he was going to rub his balls on a drum set. And some people were like, wow, Will Smith did that. Wow, that's crazy. Meanwhile, like, Jaden Smith says that, like, you believe it. When Jaden Smith's like, I'll rub my balls on it. It's like, Jaden Smith, you little prick bastard. You would. You fucking would. Yo, my favorite thing ever, though, in the entire universe is the fact that Sal from Impractical Jokers has a Jaden Smith tattoo on his thigh because he had to get it as part of some punishment. So, Sal from Impractical Jokers, in, like, the second season, he lost one, and three of the guys lost. They all had to get tattoos, and Sal had to get a Jaden Smith, and apparently he showed it to Jaden Smith, and he wasn't amused. Like, he didn't get the joke. Everybody was laughing, joking, and talking about it, and he's
why
like,
do you have my face on your thigh?
Why am I on your thigh? And then he was like, well, it was a joke, and we did this thing. It's really funny. but why do you have me on your thigh? And then you remember After Earth and how bad it was,
Yeah.
and you're sitting there like, I really hate Jaden Smith.
Yeah.
Fucking Jaden Smith, man.
Yeah, we
Led Zeppelin.
I don't know how we got to Jaden
Yo, you know
Smith
how
and
we
Led
get there?
Zeppelin.
Yo, Kevin, this is the 5 degrees of Led Zeppelin. Everything is interconnected, man.
It is connected to a lot of things. But to round off the second album, the last track there is the first song that I learned on guitar after the Godfather theme.
You learned the Godfather thing? That's fucking awesome.
That was the first thing I thought.
I started with Take It on the Run by REO Speedwagon.
Yeah, that's still something. And then I went
It's a
to
jamming one.
after that I went to Bring It On Home. That song is that blends a blues riff with like heavy rock and roll, and it's amazing.
It's such a great album from start to finish. There's not a bad track. Okay, I'm going to be controversial here. I know some people crap on Presence, In Through the Outdoor, and Coda, but I don't think Led Zeppelin ever released a bad track. I think they have a couple tracks toward their back end that are less than perfect.
They're less good than everything that came before it, but I mean, like...
Those first 4 albums are untouchable.
Oh, yeah.
They're so good. And then I even think Houses of the Holy and Physical Graffiti are great.
Yeah, definitely. I think up to Physical Graffiti, it stays
It's
together.
on that top level.
But from what I understand...
Even Presence is really good. Achilles' Last Stand is one of the best songs I ever heard.
Yeah, from what I understand is that aside from In Through the Outdoor, I think Robert Plant started to get more in on the writing process, and that's why it kind of had a little bit of a feeling change there for all the songs, because it's more Robert writing it for those later albums.
Well, especially that last album. Robert's
Presence?
son. Yeah, no, In Through the Outdoor. His son had died, and he wrote a lot of stuff for him. So, like, All My Love. All of my love. Everybody thinks it's kind of like a love song to a woman. No, it's about him singing to his son,
Yeah,
which
that's
is kind of like,
why it's so...
it's really...
such a downer of a song.
It is a
sort of.
downer, but it's
Yeah.
very emotional, and it's a really good song.
Yeah.
And it's really famous. People hear it all the time. Fool in the Rain gets played a lot.
Yeah.
I heard that at a school dance at high school. Like, they played Zeppelin in high school, like 50 years after the album had come out, man. Like, that's the most awesome thing I ever heard.
Yeah, is I'm Gonna Crawl on that one, too? I think.
Zeppelin 2?
No, on In Through the Outdoor. Weren't we talking about that? We were just talking about that.
Yeah, maybe. That might be Presence.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
see,
those
that's
types of songs,
the last 3 albums,
those-
I mixed the tracks
yeah,
up.
Those, I'll get to them when we get to those. I have the lists pulled up. But I'm sorry. He's flipping the bird again. But, yeah, with those songs, you can tell that there's definitely more of a Robert Plant influence than, like, the... Jimmy Page dictated songs. Dictator.
It's fucking funny because
It's like a potato. It's like a potato, but it's a dick.
Yeah, potato penis.
And then
Hashtag YOLO.
after Zeppelin 2, they kind of switched it up, and I think they went to a a farmhouse.
Yeah,
actually.
and Bronrar. And that's why they have
Bron-Yor, yeah. That's
well,
where
yeah,
they-
it's so weird. It's called Bronrar, even though it's nothing.
Bron-Yor.
The reason why it's Welsh, so it doesn't make sense in
Yeah.
English. Those Celtic languages, it's like when they told them what English letters were, they didn't tell them the right ones.
Yeah.
Because, like,
Here's upside down
spell,
Q.
well, no, the best one, spell Claymore. It's CLEIGHMAEY.
Oh, it's like sleigh. They
like,
spell it like sleigh, but it's like Claymore. That's weird.
it's
I didn't know that.
It's like, but there's like a G and an N in there, like Claymore, Claymore.
But with them kind of like
Bron-Rar.
shutting themselves off in the Bron-Yor.
And they did the Bronrar Stomp.
Yeah,
which
it
is
was
so good.
It was more of like a farmhouse out in the middle of fucking nowhere,
Which is
way out
great. Like,
nowhere.
that's
yeah,
what I'd love to
That's what it
do.
would be great. The mentality.
Great
of it.
outdoors.
You just go there and write music. That's all.
You'd
you're
be
there
staying in a
for.
cabin. You wake up. You go out. How awesome would it be to wake up, go outside, and just look and be like, "What a wonderful day to be alive."
But you get amazing folky type songs like "Friends,"
Oh yeah.
"Gallows Pole."
Oh, it's so good.
Tangerine, That's the Way, Hats Off to Roy Harper, Bron-Yor Stomp. Those are the more folky songs on that album. But they
Since I've been loving you,
really
man.
shows that's the blues one on there, and that
And the
like,
top
that
track,
really
Immigrant
pulls
Song,
through.
starts off great way.
Yeah, that's really
Every Zeppelin album starts off
yeah
amazing.
You like the Immigrant Song? It's really like Scandinavian feeling, you know. It's like it's cutting, like cuts into you, like, and they're obviously singing about Vikings. So,
Rolling Stone said that Zeppelin 3 wasn't a good album. And it's like, you hear that and it's like, are you shitting
well,
me?
you got to think. Mick Jagger saw the Doors and he said they sucked.
I was talking about Rolling Stone magazine, but yeah, okay.
Oh, I thought you meant the
well,
Rolling
no, actually,
Stones.
Mick Jagger hated Led Zeppelin. Like, they had a feud.
Oh, I believe that.
They went against each other. Because here's the thing.
Jealous.
Rolling Stones had a long string of #1 albums.
Yeah.
And Zeppelin would release theirs, and then all of a sudden, the Rolling Stones
Everything
would
drop
fall.
off. Yeah.
So they're like, every time we release a fucking album, Led Zeppelin releases it, and then we lose market share. And I'm not a fan of losing to Led Zeppelin.
But it's Led Zeppelin. Hey, Rolling Stones.
I'm Mick Jagger. I understand everything.
The Rolling Stones are still
I
performing,
love the Rolling Stones,
and
but,
they
like-
still have tickets for like $600. Jesus.
Oh, yeah,
They got,
I see, like, I would love to see the
$200 for a ticket
Stones,
in the back.
But, like, the only way I'm getting one is if MGK gives me a free
Yeah,
ticket.
exactly.
Like,
They're on their last tour, I think. Going on their last tour soon.
hey,
They're coming out with an album, I think, though.
Yeah,
They're coming
yeah.
out with a new album, and then they're doing a last tour. Which, how old are they? 80s? 70s. I think they're in their 70s, but like, they are some ancient guys. Like, I take my hats off to those motherfuckers. Those are like rock and roll. If rock and roll was like people, that's them, because Keith Richards, the amount of drugs that guy did, and he's still going.
it's a miracle that
Yeah.
he's still alive.
I mean, like Ozzy, he's got the warrior gene. That keeps him going. But, like, those Rolling Stones guys, they're tanks. Some thin tanks, but they're tanks.
There's some thin tanks.
Yeah.
Yo, I do, I did make a mention of MGK. I want to give a kind of shout-out thing, but, like, MGK is a great station in the area.
Yeah,
and,
it's
for
local.
the Philadelphia area.
Philadelphia area. It's 102.9 on the dial. Yeah.
And my buddy Eric, he's in the house band for WNGK, Middle
that's-
Class. So
That's cool.
They get to do all the events and stuff. But he's a really cool guy, and their band's really good. They do a lot of really good tracks. Him and also my friend Jeremy are in the band. So just some real cool guys, and their band, again, is Middle Class. They do all the MGK events and stuff. But, yeah, I wanted to give a shout-out because, Eric and Jeremy are really cool dudes, and their band's really good. And if you're going to see a really cool performance of a lot of good classics, definitely check them out if you're in the Philadelphia area. So, yeah.
Cool. Little shout out there.
Little shout out to my
local
dude.
artists. Check them out.
Helping out the local way, man.
Yeah.
We are creating an atmosphere of love.
Well, that's
And the hippies just stood up in their chairs, and they're like, yeah, taking it back.
Let's pull it back to
Back to Zeppelin, man.
Zeppelin 3 here. At the end of Friends, and at the beginning of Celebration Day, that it just goes total bluegrass. Like, I don't know how they came up with that type of sounds back then, but like that,
Oh man,
it blends from one song into another. It
Yeah,
just like
well-
totally takes you out into a different mentality.
Listen to
and
Pink
then
Floyd.
brings
Wish
you
You Were
back.
Here. That's the same technique, at tying everything together. Or Dark Side, where
That's true, but Pink Floyd's more of like they do it over the course of the album.
so good.
I know.
Pink Floyd's so good.
They have like an
So
an arc.
good.
Led Zeppelin, they have
Here I
Immigrant
ride, say
Song,
yeah.
which is a really heavy song, and then they have Friends, which is it's not heavy,
weird
but it's like
mystical thing,
it's a
man.
weird it's got a weird tuning that we actually
We messed around
we
with
messed
it because
around with
we're
it
awesome.
for the intro of this little here podcast.
Everybody loves our podcast.
But
You should love it too. Please subscribe and like and give us your money.
it takes you out of that
I'm joking.
that kind of feeling, and then it just goes into weird thing, and you don't know what to expect after that. Then it's got like this little bluegrass little riff, and then it just like goes full into like rock bluegrass type thing. It's cool how they can like totally switch it. And then the track right after that is Since I've Been Loving You, a heavily blues song, which every time you hear it, it's amazing. Like every new live version that you can hear, it's always like amazing to hear how he pulls off the introduction to it.
Yes,
Plays
Kevin.
it differently every time. Yes, me.
Led Zeppelin stuff.
Led Zeppelin stuff. Let's move on to Zeppelin 4. I believe that a lot of people would consider this to be their best album. Probably because...
And those people would be probably... I'm not even
I
going
think
to
that-
argue against it.
I
Zeppelin
think-
4 is so good.
I think that would be a majority of people.
It sold 40 million copies. That's unheard of,
Yeah,
man.
I think it probably is their best album, their most sold album, probably because of
but
Stairway
with
to
Black
Heaven
Dog,
and stuff. Yeah.
and there's no doubt
Well, I mean, let me go through the songs that are on it. They're all
they're all A-list.
top A-list songs.
Hell, even Four Sticks is still
Four
good.
Sticks is an amazing song. That's like yeah. But you got Black Dog, Rock and Roll,
Oh,
which
yeah.
is iconic.
Oh,
iconic.
so iconic.
Used in commercials and stuff. Battle of Evermore.
Oh, it's so good.
That's one of my favorite ones.
They had Joni
That's
Mitchell
one of my
actually help. She was the
Yeah.
woman's voice.
That's right. Yeah, and I love
She's
that
great. I
song.
love
It's another
Joni.
one about Led Zeppelin there.
Oh yeah.
Stairway to Heaven, Misty Mountain Hop, which is
Oh yeah.
which- then Four Sticks, Going to California.
Oh, which at MGK? Speaking of, they play that one.
Yeah, they-
like 3 times a week
yeah.
at least.
And then When the Levee Breaks.
So good.
Oh, man, the drumming
Oh,
in
did we
that.
forget Stairways on this album? Like,
I said that. That was.
but I know, but
yeah.
I didn't.
Oh
like,
yeah,
really make a mention of.
track back on that.
Like, here's Zeppelin 4. Like, you have Black Dog, which is such an iconic just blues rock song that they wrote in like the moment and like recorded in like
Yeah.
5 minutes.
Yeah.
Then they did what's next? Rock and Roll, which is one of the best rock songs of all time.
It's like blues rock. Like it's like
So good. And then what?
Battle of Evermore.
Battle of Evermore is this
Yeah.
crazy folk
You
piece.
got a
It's so good.
mandolin on it. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And didn't Jimmy write the mandolin stuff? And then John
I think
played
yeah.
it?
And then
John Paul Jones.
John Paul Jones played it, but if you watch
He
it
gave some
live,
stuff to it,
if you
yeah.
watch it live when they play, John Paul Jones plays a triple acoustic guitar, and it's
Oh,
got
wow.
a ukulele on it, and I think it's got 12-string and a regular, but
Wow.
it's pretty cool that he actually goes.
John Paul
through
Jones
there.
is awesome, man.
Yeah. Again, very underappreciated.
Oh yeah, John Paul
musician.
Jones is more underappreciated than Ringo because John Paul Jones actually did stuff.
Yeah.
No, I'm joking, Ringo.
You'll put the
I
thing
love
on the
Ringo. Like, don't get me
refrigerator.
wrong. Like, the Beatles are probably my number 3 band, but like, some people think that's an insult that I don't have a number 1. But I'm like, when you average it out, the reason why the Beatles always come out number 1 is because the average of everybody has the Beatles at least.
Everybody has a different opinion. I mean, like
the
mine,
Beatles-
for me, Beatles are in my top maybe 10. They're probably in my top 10, but they're not up in the upper half. But
Yeah. Like I'd struggle. I might put the Doors higher. See, and that's the thing. When I really think about it, there's bands that I like more than them. But it depends on what mood I'm in because you can't go wrong with Beatles, man. You throw on
yeah, I mean, you gotta think about
Abbey Road,
like,
Sgt. Pepper's,
when
or
you
set.
think of that like opinionated type stuff. You gotta think about how it makes you feel when you listen to it, instead of like this is technically better. Like Dream Theater is better.
Oh,
than
well,
blah, 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 because they're
I'm not
more
gonna-
technical. Like
I don't want to get into Dream Theater because I don't want to piss off any Dream Theater fans. I like them, but I call them Rush clone, metal Rush clone, and it doesn't go well because Dream Theater fans know more than you do. So
I feel like no matter what you're gonna talk about, you're gonna offend somebody. So, yeah. Like I could say Dream Theater is more like, hey, look at me, I'm really
They're
good.
technical,
Yeah, like
but- Like, I would never
that-
choose to listen to Dream Theater, though.
yeah.
I get bored.
Led Zeppelin.
Led Zeppelin.
Led
Zeppelin stuff.
When the levee breaks.
Yo, Kevin,
It's-
stop. You will listen.
No,
to me.
I'm over. I'm
I'm
taking
good.
this. I'm
No,
taking
no.
this podcast over.
This is my podcast, and you're just invited.
Well, when the levee breaks, is,
Yo, when we told that to Tom on the first episode, it was so perfect.
and he's like, Oh.
Like during the episode, he's talking and he's like, this has been fun, and it's like, well, no, this is more of me and Kevin's, and Tom's is allowed to be on it.
Yeah.
And Tom gave me like this look, and it's like, Tom, look at it now. How many episodes have we done? How many have you been here for? Calling you out, bro, because I know you're not listening. Yeah. You are an asshole. I'm joking.
Well, I mean, I respect him for the fact that like he stepped out for his own personal reasons.
He knew it would help his film and stuff, so I'm not going to give him crap on it.
Yeah, so, whatever he wants to do. I mean, we're going to get our shit for this.
He's like my second favorite person that worked on this podcast.
I'm joking.
I'm joking. No, he's probably much lower.
Out of two other people.
No, so I probably put myself above Tom. I put you above Tom, obviously. Yeah, Josh is above Tom. I think my brother's above Tom.
So that makes Tom at the bottom.
There's nobody else. There's nobody else. Duncan was gonna come. Norman
he would have been
gonna
before
come.
Tom. They both would have been before.
They'd both be above Tom. Hey, Tom. If we added some people I didn't like, you'd be above them. Some people I'm even mixed on. You're no, Tom, I love you, man.
Little Tom Bass there.
But I don't love you in a weird way. Like it's one of those like I realize it's
like I hate you so much that I love you.
I hate you in an enjoyable way.
Yeah.
You make my life entertaining. Like I'm joking, Tom. You bastard! I
look at my life and I think I'm down in the guts, and then I look at Tom's and yours, and then I'm just like, wow, I'm doing so well right now.
Tom is like Ernest, so like Ernest goes to jail would be like Tom goes to jail.
It's funny because we're bashing on this kid that nobody here on the podcast. Somebody might. Somebody might. They might be on our 4 people that listen. There's probably two.
Dude, we got listeners, man.
We've been getting some listeners.
We got some mad listens.
I know that you guys have been listening on this.
You've been listening.
You guys been coming back, you little sluts.
They're like, I like Star Wars. You did Star Wars, so I'm here for Star Wars.
Yeah. I mean, there probably will be people that just like Star Wars tuning in just for that episode.
And they're like, when's the next Star Wars episode?
And there's that one person like, hey, you guys said a lot about Star Trek. That wasn't really nice.
You didn't say nice things. We're going to do a Star Trek episode. Don't worry.
Yeah, we'll round it out. We'll
make fun of you in that episode, too.
Make fun of all.
Deep Space Nine is not even good. Come at me, bro. Yo.
Jeez.
So we did what? Zeppelin 1, 2, 3, and 4?
Well, I just wanted to touch on When the Levee Breaks. That's a famously known that
in Chicago.
In Chicago.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
No, there was like a levee that broke somewhere.
Oh, that's what it was about. I thought you meant
there was a flood in Chicago and people died.
Well, they wrote it at Head Lagrange, I'm pretty sure. I think that's what it's called. Yeah, they wrote, but they put the drums in like in a spiral staircase hallway, and
it gave it mad reverb.
Yeah, the reverb, so that
he
hits it twice, and then it sounds like he hits it again, but it's just the reverb of it. Like he just like the perfect reverb of like it sounds like there's extra notes there, but there's not, and it's just. I don't like. Jimmy Page was a very good producer. I mean, I hear different things that some different people are the people that placed the mics and stuff, but I mean, Jimmy Page definitely did a lot of that.
Oh yeah.
I'm not going to get into all that. I'm not trying to.
Jimmy is the only one who's good.
Jimmy Page wrote all the music.
Jimmy Page wrote the Beatles too.
Jimmy Page is the Roger Waters of Led Zeppelin.
He's the Roger Waters of Pink Floyd. Kevin,
that.
You want to rethink that sentence?
No.
You want to rethink that dumbass sentence?
No, because Jimmy
Page
would have been great in Pink Floyd.
He would have, but Dave Gilmour is the only good.
I don't think that would have worked, honestly.
Dave Gilmour would not have worked in Zeppelin, and Jimmy would not have worked in Pink Floyd.
Well, he could have made it work.
No. Mm-mm.
Dude, he's a session guitarist. He could have made it work.
Well, Dave would have been able to salvage Zeppelin just as good. I'm just thinking, like...
let's not get into this.
Yeah, let's not get into this.
This is
Dave versus Jimmy, and
this
we're
is
both.
a pretty hot topic on this one.
David is my hero,
and Jimmy is my hero.
So we got to rock 'em, sock 'em, robot that shit out.
But I mean, like, we're not even insulting each other that way. We're just saying, like, Led Zepp, like Jimmy Page wouldn't work good. Pink Floyd,
I know,
it wouldn't work
we're
good
moving
the other
on.
way.
I like how
Houses
I'm
of the Holy.
I'm upside down on the.
Houses of the Holy.
This microphone's upside down, man. Like, what's going on?
Okay.
Hey, everybody.
Houses of the Holy.
No,
which
I have the talking stick.
ironically doesn't have the song Houses of the Holy on.
Yeah, Houses of the Holy's on physical graffiti of all things.
Yeah, but
Kevin, keep talking because I shall return in the Avengers.
in the Avengers, what? In April, when the Avengers comes out in April, you oh Jesus. All right, Houses of the Holy. Let's get back to Led Zeppelin. Alex is gone, so we'll stay on topic here. Ha ha ha. Oh jeez. Yeah, see Alex. All right, Houses of the Holy. That starts off with a really strong one too. They all start off with a strong one. I mean, the Immigrant Song, A Whole Lot of Love. They're insanely heavy songs, but this one's not so like metal type heavy. This is more it's got the folk style in it, but it's still heavy. Song remains the same, which just opens with this droning D note and then just pulls in some chords and then climaxes with an amazing, like, but simple chord progression that really rounds out the rest of the way that the song's going. And then it goes to the Rain song, which I hear Jimmy Page was doing a hint at the Beatles in the first note of this song. Which is just, it's a lot slower of a song. It's more emotional of a song. And then you goes back to folky style with Over the Hills and Far Away. Then the crunge changes up style there. Dancing Days. And it goes to an interesting choice. They went more ska style.
I think this broke while I was gone. I'm
With
assuming
Jamaica.
it was terrible.
It probably was terrible.
Kevin, how could you do me like this? I do not believe you.
You left.
You're tearing me apart.
You left me to talk by myself, and I had to drone.
I had to whistle.
I had to drone along. But
I had to whistle with my ding ding dong. Nobody's gonna sleep tonight.
Let
now.
me fill in Alex on what I was saying. The Rain song. I said
So
the
good. I
song
love the Rain
remains the
song.
same.
Song remains the same. It's
Yeah.
great.
It has the droning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's such a grooving song.
It's such a well-rounded.
You have so much
song.
fun.
Yeah.
It's one of those songs you turn on and you're like, this is fun.
Yeah, it's upbeat. It's
I
really
loved
upbeat.
On the school bus. There'd be times where like that'd be one of the first songs I'd listen to when I get on the bus, and I just lay there. And I'm like, I wish I was asleep.
And then the Rain song comes on right after.
So good.
The first note in that song I heard was actually Jimmy taking a little hint from the Beatles. He said you'd never be able to tell what song it's from. You'll never be able to tell what song it's from, but he took that chord. It's
probably something. It's got to be.
It's a different tuning, so that's the weird part.
Na na
La 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 la.
tracks me like no other.
Then there's
love.
Over the Hills and Far Away, which is a good folk song.
Oh yeah.
Folk song.
Oh,
Then
the
crunch.
The
the crunch. That song, the crunch, always makes me think of like Las Vegas. You know.
Well, it's kind of like James Brownie.
Yeah,
Well, his name wasn't Brownie.
like a
It was
funk-
James Brown. But I meant like James Brown-ish, I guess.
Yeah, it's more funk style. Yeah, you're right.
Gonna have a brown.
I never really thought about that. Yeah, but it's more like the Vegas type style.
And then
music.
Jamaica.
Then you got Jamaica. Yeah,
Jamaica?
Which,
Is it
yeah,
Jamaica?
It's Jamaica. Yeah,
Jamaica?
Yeah. I always thought it was Dire Maker.
Maker.
Yeah, but like
But
it
it's
is Jamaica.
Jamaica.
Yeah,
And like Jamaica.
Yeah, it's a
Because
ska
it's
style
like
song, but they pull it off perfectly. Yeah. Yeah, like it works.
Oh, I love
works
Bob Marley,
perfectly.
so like obviously that
I was
rolls
just
with
gonna
me.
say, even Bob Marley would probably be like, "Yeah, this is all right. It's all right. It's not great."
I shot the sheriff.
Oh my God, Eric
But
Clapton's
I didn't
version.
shoot
Of that.
that deputy.
But I did not shoot.
I have Eric Clapton's greatest hit playing in my car. I got that. Greatest hits, not greatest hit. He had more than one song, but it's from '82, so it's cool because it's a lot of like his early stuff. It's got Derek and the Dominoes on there, Layla.
Oh, yeah.
Like it's a great thing. It's got some cream on there. It's
Yeah.
like this is good.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I got it at Goodwill for $1, man. Like, can't beat that.
Yeah, that's great. Then after your maker, you have No Quarter.
No Quarter is one of my all-time favorite Zeppelin songs.
That's my dad's favorite song. That's the reason I got a wah pedal. So then I can.
Yo, but that heavy, dude. That song's one of the
Yeah.
heaviest songs of its time.
Yeah.
Imagine sitting there in 1973, hearing that. And my
Yeah.
favorite thing is thinking about sitting there in 1973. Imagine you just went to the record shop and you picked up this thing called Dark Side of the Moon, and you got Houses of the Holy, and you're like, I got one with naked kids and one with a white stream going in and coming out as a rainbow.
It's creepy as fuck.
Don't know how these could be that good.
Yeah.
And then you drop the needle and you're like, whoa,
Yeah.
holy shit.
Yeah, I think those were actually
Tool did a
supposed to
cover.
be like some
Some stuff.
druids. I think they were like druids or something like that. That's what they were supposed to be.
Yeah.
Something like that.
But you know what's funny? Tool did a cover of No Quarter, and they made it extra heavy, but it works.
Yeah.
I'm not like a giant Tool fan.
Yeah,
I'm not a giant Tool.
They're a bunch of tools.
No, I have a lot of friends who are Tool fans, and they really love them. But I like a lot of stuff. There's a track that the Melvins did with Tool in the 90s, and it's a crazy track. I can't remember what it's called right now, but it's one of those songs where I wish I would have talked about it in the 90s episode.
Check it out. Yeah. But after No Quarter, you got The Ocean.
That was why it was really funny. The second album by Zeppelin I bought. Okay, the first one I bought was with Led Zeppelin. I bought Mothership was the first thing I got from them. So like 07. Then I got Physical Graffiti, and then I added Presence, and then this one, Houses of the Holy, because I wanted to get the song "The Ocean," and it's not on Mothership,
Yeah.
and it's like, what the hell? Like, what's going on?
I was trying to start a band with this kid, a drummer, and I learned The Ocean. I was like, oh yeah, it's The Ocean. It seems like more of a simple song. You get to the end of a song and there's the outro. It's pretty hard to learn. I learned it, but it really picks up there. Yeah, he does a little different styles there. Yeah,
turns into like a Frank Sinatra would sing on that song by the end of there, huh?
yeah,
Yeah, I know. It's so much fun though.
Yeah, it's
I
fun.
love that
It's
track.
fun to play when you get around to it. Then you get to after House of the Holy, you get to their
Physical Graffiti.
I would argue that this is their apex album.
Is this your favorite one from them?
Yeah, I wouldn't say like it's it's not
so
their
good.
best. Like it doesn't have their best stuff on it. I just think it's
Cashmere, man.
yeah. Cashmere's
Yeah,
my
it
favorite
doesn't
song.
have their best stuff, and then you rattle off what's on, and it's
I mean,
like,
yeah.
okay.
All right.
Trampled Underfoot.
I love all of
Trampled Underfoot's one of the best songs, man. Bum, 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 bam, 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 bum, bum. It seems like Stevie Wonder got together with them, and they had
Yeah,
some.
well, what I mean is, I feel like they
some
were at their
fun.
prime when they made this album.
Well, because they could do anything on this album,
yeah,
and then like Presence is just like, huh?
yeah. They
But
kind of
we'll get to that.
They
I
changed
like
direction.
Presence, but
But Physical Graffiti, let me list off. There's a lot of them. Let me list off what's here, though. This is a double album.
oh yeah, just like the Beatles' White Album.
Yeah,
it
it's-
lets you do a lot more.
Yeah. It starts off with Custard Pie.
Oh yes.
They always start strong. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Yeah. It's a driving song. Then it goes to the
And the
Rover,
organ. Yeah.
which
Oh, yeah, that's
also
great.
that's a heavier song. Then it goes to a slower He actually uses a slide on this one.
Yeah,
In my time of dying. That's one of my favorite ones.
It's
Actually,
a crazy good
this
song.
one says it's 11 minutes. That's longer than Achilles' Last Stand.
Wow.
I didn't know that.
I believe it. But
It is
one
a
of the
great
first
song.
things I learned on slide guitar was that one because
It's slower. Yeah, I'm a glass blower. I'm a glass blower, so I can make slides now. So I still need to make myself one though.
A slide?
Yeah, it'll be cool. It'll be some silver and gold fume.
Yeah.
Some goodness.
So if you guys want some guitar slides,
Yeah,
you know
wow.
where to get them.
You could do some cool ones too.
I could. Yeah, I could do.
Why haven't you done that for yourself?
Because I don't know. I guess I never got around to it. I'll do it next week for sure. I'm gonna do that next week. It's gonna be my project. Just gotta fit my finger in there, and it'll be all right.
While it's hot, right? You're like, ah!
It fits. And then after In My Time of Dying, there's the title track of the last album,
Houses of
House
the Holy.
of the Holy, which it's a great
It's
song.
good.
It's
Oh,
a really good song.
Houses
I'm just-
of the Holy.
I'm just wondering if they wrote that and it didn't make it on to House of
I
the
feel
Holy.
like maybe they were like, we're full. Let's just save it.
Maybe it didn't work with the way that the feeling of the album that they were trying
Yeah.
to get around. After that is one of the heaviest keyboards with Led Zeppelin, Trampled Underfoot.
Trampled underfoot, so
That-
good.
that one's- It's so on top of the beat the whole time. Yeah.
Now talk about love. Talk
about
about love. You know. Oh, have so much fun with that. Oh, love this album.
Yeah.
I love Zeppelin so much, man.
Right after that-
Everything's so good to this point.
They end the first CD really strong with the Trampled Underfoot.
Did you say first CD?
First
you mean
CD.
the first record? The album?
Okay, sorry.
The first LP?
Sorry, we're talking in
We're talking in right and
vinyls. We're
correct
talking in
terms.
vinyls now.
I have original Zeppelin vinyls over there.
I don't. I don't even have a record
I have all of
player,
them.
but I want one.
Do you really want one? I have like 4. I have 2 right there.
You just got them piled up here. Yeah,
Like
I do want one.
If you had audio equipment, I'd give you one of my better ones. But I have one I'd consider selling to you. But that one over there, the suitcase looking thing, that was the first record player I ever got. So part of me was like, I could get rid of it, but part of me is also like,
Nostalgia.
I never use it.
Yeah. Well, it's still
But-
your first one. I mean,
It's really cool.
give it to your child and be like, "This was my first one when I get it." I know they don't make these anymore, but
Hey, that's what they said like 30 years ago. They're like, records are going to be gone, man. They're going to be gone. And then they disappeared for like a couple of years. They came back, and they're out
from
in the
what I
underground.
hear, I might be wrong. I mean, I heard it from a teacher, which they might be wrong, but I hear that there's one guy that knows how to make the needle for a record, and it's like a diamond needle that they need.
Yeah.
And there's one guy that knows how to do it in the world, and once he dies, the patent's fucking still up. So like, nobody's gonna be able to make them.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So there's gonna
Well,
be
the
like,
company makes them, right?
I guess. Yeah. I mean, I'm not really sure on the whole. That's just what I
There's
heard.
no way.
That's what I heard. Yeah. There's
Well, so you're saying I should buy up needles right now?
probably buy up needles. You sound like a drug addict.
Yo, give me all them needles I need for my roan.
Well, all right.
My
They finish up this
heroin.
first side of the album.
This is Zeppelin, not Velvet Underground, so there's no heroin here.
Huh, maybe with Jimmy.
Hell.
Yeah.
We'll get to that.
At 75, it's about the
Hell
right time.
yeah. Jimmy started doing heroin and he got fucked.
Yeah, he had a little down.
He started
downward.
looking like he would look like he's drooling, but he was just sweating so much from being on stage on heroin that he's just like.
He still played
"Oh
a
my
show
God."
though.
Yo, he was a fucking legend doing it, but like he looked pretty bad for a little bit, and then when he got off heroin, he started looking better.
Yeah. Well, at the end of the first half of the album, geez,
What did
if I
you
can
tell-
ever get through it, this sentence, Trampled Underfoot is followed by Cashmere,
Cashmere,
which I consider
so good, so good.
I think that's their
Na, na,
that's
na.
my favorite
Na, na,
song
na,
of theirs.
na, 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 na.
The songs that'll rip that one off.
Kingdom
Like,
Come.
yeah, yeah,
I played that
yeah.
one for you before. Greta Van Fleet. They haven't ripped that one off yet, but they're going to, you know.
I don't think they've ripped off any individual songs.
I don't think they
just
have.
figure-
It's just
like,
the
tone.
sound
Yeah.
and like the way things are set up. Or here's the other thing. I'm gonna say it right now. I don't think Greta Van Fleet's that bad. I kind of enjoy
They have
some of their
talent.
tracks.
They have
and I think
talent.
they're pretty good.
Yeah.
I just think my problem with them is the fact that like
They got
pretty
stereotyped. They got stereotyped right away.
oh, they got stereotyped right away, and they kind of are very blatantly ripping off the Zeppelin.
I wouldn't say. All right, like ripping off is one. I feel like they just want.
They're stealing
They
the
want to.
tone,
They
the
want to just
sound.
like go in that direction. I see what they're trying to do, but like there's a limit.
okay?
There's a limit. Like you can't like go in.
That's why, like, I saw one magazine give their latest album like an 8 out of 10, and I saw another one where they give it like a 1.4
Like
because
you
they
can't
were
make
like,
you can't make a song that's about time, not name time, and just have a bunch of clocks at the beginning of the song. But I use different types of clocks than they used in the song. So it's
like
yeah.
this song's called Calendar, and it's the sound of a calendar flipping instead of clocks ticking.
Yeah, that'd be horrible. Jesus. The second half of Physical Graffiti
The second half of Physical Graffiti by Kevin
Miller
Miller.
starts off with "In the Light."
And
It's such like it's such a Celtic like droning. Like, it just starts off like just droning like Celtic type sounding organ by John Paul Jones, and it really brings in that like that what would it be like the northern European type of feeling. It's got the didgeridoo out, and he can't use it. I bet I could do better than you.
It's been a while since I played this.
You need a lot.
You're making faces.
You need a lot of lung capacity for the didgeridoo.
What you have to do is you have to be able to breathe in and breathe out at the same time.
Circular breathing. That's kind of impossible, though. Breathing in and breathing out at the same. Yeah, you have one lung inflating and the other one deflating at the same time, and there you go. You're good. Yeah, that's circular breathing. I understand it. You get air in your mouth and you push out when you're inhaling, right? Something like that.
Yeah, now it's crazy. See, I used to be able to kind of play like a couple, like I could like function doing some cool stuff with the didge just for like sound things, but yeah, it probably was a waste of $35. But
Yeah,
it's
it's $35
freaking cool.
bucks. It's a nice one. It's
And
got a good design on it and
mandolin
stuff.
there. I got the slide guitar. Like
A mandolin's more than a didgeridoo, so I mean that's not bad.
mandolin's nice though, and I had fun with that.
Maybe you'll
I
use
love
the
it.
didgeridoo on one of your compositions.
One of my compositions
One of your
for my
compositions.
soundage. I'm 300% certain that I'm amazing.
300%.
I'm 300 billion% because
good there.
I'm 100 billion% sure he the father, and then Maury's like he is not the father.
So back
Led Zeppelin is
Well-
not the father of Led Zeppelin and Greta Van Fleet.
in Physical Graffiti side 2,
You don't even know what you're talking about, Kevin.
I don't at all.
Kevin,
but they
what did we say?
They kind of do a that Kevin's always wrong.
It gets the hose
They-
again if it talks up again.
They do. They do a loop back to their first album with Bron-Your-R because in the
That's
first
so
album they had
good.
Bron-Your-R Stomp. Or
You
is
mean
it
the third
the
album?
third album? Sorry, the one I was
First
just
album.
talking about.
You
not the one.
Chodski. But you know what's so cool about like Bron-Your-R is it's such a good track.
No.
Like Jimmy Page, man, he proves that he's such a good acoustic player on that.
It's just
I mean,
he's a good like improv. Like he can just pull it out of his ass and just like
he inspired a lot of my acoustic stuff because I love Jimmy, man.
he inspired all of my acoustic stuff. Maybe Little Pink Floyd, maybe, but I mean they don't do a whole lot of acoustic.
Not a
as much.
lot.
There's the Who. They got my.
Who are you? Tell me who are you? Who are you?
Then you got Down by the Seaside.
That's a good chilling.
It's like
tune.
that's the one that's it's like a surfer rock type.
If you
tune.
can like it'd be perfect if you were at like a lake for the weekend with like a girl or something. And you're like, you play that track. It sounds like it's just like wholesome.
You know, I just thought about this. I saw a video of Jimmy Page listening to that song. I forget what it's called, but it goes down, down, down. That's all, like the only.
Kevin, thank you for that. Down, down, down.
And it goes down, 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 down. It's like it's
By Zeppelin?
No, not Zeppelin. It's Jimmy Page was listening to. It's an older band. It's like down, 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 down. You should be picking up on it, but you're not.
What? Child of Time by Deep Purple. Down,
No.
down, 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 bum, bum, bum.
No, it's that simple. It's no like added. It's just guitar, and then it adds like a little like. I'll find it if you really want me to.
It's Deep Purple, man. I'm telling you.
It's not Deep Purple. It's Jimmy Page. No, it's what Jimmy Page.
Flip the table.
The video I watched, Jimmy Page was saying that like he really loved how the one notes that the chord that he holds out, he had an effect on there that he kept increasing every time that it went through. So it would go down, 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 like add like sort of a.
Now, Kevin, I'm thinking you had a dream and that you're imagining this because I don't know anything of which you are speaking.
Because Kevin's always wrong.
Have always. You're like the droopy dog from
Oh boy, Jesus Christ. Oh boy, Jesus.
That's like the hose again.
I sounded normal and then I had a stroke.
Oh.
We lost all our.
Is he special?
We lost all our stroke viewers.
All our stroke viewers. Oh. We had guys talking about stuff. Do not want to make light of an issue, and Kevin does not speak for the both of us. So
I also don't really speak for myself.
I just wanted to be known that we're just playing characters.
Yeah, you guys gotta understand. A lot of what I say should be taken with a grain of salt.
Don't repeat anything. We use Wikipedia for our source, so
I'm not even using Wikipedia. I looked it up, and then it just whatever popped up.
You're on AlbumBrothers.com.
No, I'm on Bing.
You're on Bing?
Bing.
You Binged it?
I Binged.
Who chooses to use Bing? You're getting the points for those rewards, right? You get that Amazon gift card at the end. You get 5,000 points.
You can do that?
Yeah, with Bing, if you use it, if you sign up for the rewards thing, you just use it for like every 3 weeks I get a $5 Amazon gift card.
What?
Yeah, for free. Just for searching with Bing. Like, I'm not joking.
Well,
and they did not pay me to advertise for them here. I'm not joking. You can check out their rewards program. You'll get a $5 gift card. Like,
well, he certainly advertised for me.
Yeah. Check out Kevin's glass blowing. So
yeah. If you brought it up, so I'm gonna get at this.
You're gonna self-promote.
I'm gonna self-promote myself here. You guys, check me out on Instagram. Kavin Glass Goods. That's KVIN Glass Goods.
And if you guys are looking for some music, Alex Fair, spelled Fehr, on Facebook or on YouTube or the site you're on, or like Amazon Music or iTunes or anywhere you go, anywhere you can find music, you look up Alex Fehr, and then search Legend of the Lone Wolf. And you'll find some cool and interesting things, man. I think you'll like it. It's something different, but I got a new release coming soon, and I got some other stuff. So shameless promotions, talking Zeppelin stuff. So shameless promotion because Led Zeppelin, all they did was just steal ideas. Like all they did was steal ideas, just like Greta Van Fleet. And they're just so terrible, and they're the worst band ever.
We all gotta start somewhere.
No, you know what's funny though? Like, there's so many people who say that, and then they'll be wearing a Beatles shirt, and it's like, put on their first album. They wrote none of the songs on it. Like,
yeah,
people shit on Zeppelin for quote unquote stealing stuff. Yeah, but in a lot of cases they did give credit, and like,
there's like maybe
they made some changes. They didn't like do it word for word, note for note, everything. There's some little things here and there, and it's like, yes, it's a little too close, but it sounds totally different. It's not like. And here's the thing. I don't even hate Greta Van Fleet, but you know how they kind of sound like Zeppelin in their tone? Like, oh, they're a ripoff. Not really. I mean, they have the tone, but they are making music, so I guess I got to give them credit.
Sorry. Keep going. I was
Kevin-
trying to pull up the video here on the thing I was trying to talk about earlier.
Hey Kevin, wouldn't it be nice if like you could actually be productive?
If I wasn't, if I did my research before I started.
Do your research before we start the episode.
I'm sorry. I'm super sorry. He plays it in It Might Get Loud. Rumble by Link Ray and his Raymen.
Oh, turn the volume up.
That one.
Oh yeah.
See, that makes me think of Down by the Seaside. Right at the beginning. That chord. Wow.
There's an ad for Life Simulator on here. Why?
Why not?
You can simulate a life.
When you could live your real life.
Yeah, why live your real life when you can live out somebody else's legacy?
But yeah.
Oh no, that's a good tune.
This song, I feel like this song right here had inspiration.
Oh, yeah.
Or Down by the Seaside brought inspiration from that song. Could have.
I think a lot of stuff.
Of course. That's
The Led Zeppelin was derivative because every other band is so original and they're not. It's like, you realize the Beatles borrowed a lot of stuff too, and that's right. I said borrowed because people don't. You can't like steal music,
everything's
man.
borrowed from everything. So if you use a scale, you borrowed it from the person that made it.
Yeah,
Someone that figured it out.
Beethoven did it first, and that's like anytime any song comes out, I'm just like Beethoven did it first.
Hey, you guys can use Beethoven. It's public domain now.
It is,
Yeah.
and I love Beethoven.
So do I. Maybe I'll write.
We have to do a Beethoven episode.
We'll make a Moonlight Sonata song, a Rock Light Sonata or some
Yeah,
shit.
Moonlight Sonata is a perfect song.
Sunlight Sonata.
Yeah, For Elise is a perfect song too. Both of them have a little moment where they get like happy and jingly, and it's because there's like the moment in which him and the lady are coming together for a dance. It's kind of perfect how it happens, and it like tells a story without having to say any words, and that's like one of the magical things.
He was
there.
deaf.
You motherfucker!
Moonlight
How
Sonata.
did you go
I'm
there?
pretty sure Moonlight Sonata
I'm
was his
joking.
last song that he wrote.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think it was.
That'd be crazy.
Well, it was an amazing song. So
Oh, it's so good.
good to start on that good note. After Down by the Seaside, there's
Down
another
by the seaside.
one of my
Boom,
favorites.
bam, boom, boom.
10 Years Gone.
I love that. That's not on Mothership either, which that's a shame because that's such a good track, and some people have never heard 10 Years Gone.
Yeah, if you haven't heard 10 Years Gone, definitely listen to it. If it's not heavy, so if you don't like heavier music, then it's definitely a good one for you.
Definitely good
So-
for your butt. I'm joking. Oh my gosh. Oh my god.
After 10 Years Gone, we got
Oh my
Night
gosh.
Flight, which sounds like more of a Robert Plant-esque type
It's
song.
a Robert Plant track.
It's a Robert
man.
Plant song. Then we got a song that I really like, the riff to Wonton song.
Do you really like the Wonton song, Kevin?
If you don't
Kevin,
like the
Kevin,
Wonton
Kevin,
song,
Kevin,
Alex,
Kevin,
I'm gonna slap
Kevin,
you
Kevin,
with this
Kevin,
here
Kevin,
this mat.
Wonton. You want wonton? You go down.
You want Wonton song?
You get wonton, you go now.
Oh jeez. And then they finish
Freaking
up.
Rob Schneider in the 8 Crazy Nights. You have 10 Dragon Ball. You go now.
You go now. They finish up the album with Boogie with Stu, Black
Oh, catch
Country
me.
Woman, and
Yeah.
Sick Again.
Yeah,
Black
pretty...
Country Woman, you can actually hear.
You can actually hear the
You can hear a
rainbow.
jet fly over in the middle of the song,
Oh, really?
and they leave it in because they were.
It's cool because
Yeah.
it's fucking Led Zeppelin, man.
And also, I didn't say it when it came up, but the ocean.
Oh, so
in
good.
the solo of the ocean, you can hear a phone ringing in the background.
Yeah.
Someone must have been really pissed about
Well,
that.
also at the beginning you hear John Bonham say, "First we're ready and we're steady and then we go down." It's been a while since I.
And there's another one where it's like, "Should we keep it rolling, Jimmy?" And he's like, "Yeah,
Should we keep it rolling,
keep it rolling, Jimmy."
Jimmy?
Jimmy.
Jimmy Stewart. I love Jimmy Stewart, but that's totally unrelated.
I clicked on presents here. Oh no, never mind. Clicked on the song.
Boom, boom, boom.
All right, then we got Presence, right?
Which is, it's still a really good album, I think.
Yeah, I really like it.
I mean, Achilles' Last Stand's one of my all-time favorites. It's such a incredible composition.
10-minute, 30-second song that's just like it's an adventure the whole way through. No, that's not even a good like representation of that song. It's like it's
one
so
of the
driving.
heaviest things.
Yeah, it drives you throughout the
It's
whole
one of the all-time
song.
heaviest songs, I think. Like, it's not like they're not that garbage. It's like the song, like John Bonham's playing on it so perfect.
Like it's so like technical too. There's just you guys got to check it out. Like it's a 10-minute
Oh, it's
song,
so
but
good.
even if you hear just some of it, like any part of the song that you just click.
And you told me that Jimmy Page improvised the whole solo on that, which is incredible.
So here's what I heard. I think I read in the book LZ75 when he was writing the solo, or when they were writing Presence, they had everything together except for Achilles' Last Stand wasn't finished yet. And the Rolling Stones had the studio next, and they only had a few hours, maybe, before they ran out of studio time. And so Jimmy went in, and he finished up Achilles' Last Stand, which was doing the solos and editing it and putting it in like 2 hours or something, which is crazy for that song. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Like, probably didn't even practice it. He's just like, fuck it, I'm just gonna go for it, and it just
Fuck it, we're gonna do it live. You are my main man there,
yeah.
my broskito.
Other
Chacharudo. Muy bueno.
other tracks on Presence are For Your Life, Royal Orleans, Nobody's Fault But Mine,
Nobody's fault but mine.
which is a great use of a wah pedal.
Yeah.
Candy Store Rock, which they wrote that song after meeting the King of Rock, Elvis.
Yeah.
Yeah, they wrote that.
Elvis is good, man. I like me
I'm
some
pretty
Elvis.
sure that's the one.
Yeah, I get you. I feel you. I
pretty
know
sure.
what you mean.
Yeah, I'm just trying
Kevin,
to.
I'm just trying to
Kevin.
think if I got it. Oh, jeez.
Then there's
We went right to AC/DC real quick.
Hots for Nowhere
Yeah, it's a weird track from him.
and T for One. I always like T for
T
One.
for One's good. I enjoy it.
I like how our talking has gotten less at these last albums here because, you know.
The quality's going
Robert.
down at this point.
Oh, Robert. Darn you, Robert. Okay. In
Yes.
the Evening. I think that's the strongest
In the-
song. Actually, okay, so I
In
might
the
have
Evening, All My Love, Fool in the Rain.
Fool in the Rain, Southbound
So
Sorrows.
we're officially in Through the Outdoor now.
Yeah.
I really like Carousel Alhambra, man. That's one of my favorites off it.
Oh, yeah.
I like
it's
the
a
other
good-
ones.
It's really original in the
Yeah.
way. Yeah, in his take. I'm Gonna Crawl is on it.
Oh yeah.
Hot Dog. So I think I'm wrong about the Candy Store Rock.
Yeah,
I
the problem
think
with Hot Dog-
Hot Dog is, I think
My
that's
friend
the
Wolfgang
one.
hates that song.
I think that's the one that they wrote after meeting.
hot dog, hot diggity dog.
After meeting Elvis, I think they wrote that one.
That's possible.
Yeah.
Hey, look, I have an ad here on my phone for CGI the movie. Wow, that looks exciting. Oh, wait a minute. No, it doesn't.
I
Because
find
CGI is
all
bland
of
and
my
boring.
love to be annoying.
Yeah?
Yeah, because it comes on a lot whenever I put on Zeppelin, and I just hear. All I hear for the
It's
whole
so
song
well
is
done, though.
all of my love, all of my love, oh, all of my love. That's all I ever hear the whole song.
See, here's the thing.
know that
though.
there's more
it's
stuff.
him singing to his kid
I
who's
get it.
dead, man. That's heartfelt shit, man. You suck. I hate you. You ruined my life, Kevin. You're such a bad guy.
I'm not taking anything from the meaningfulness of the song.
I am not happy with you right now, Kevin. I'm not happy.
And
I am not happy with you, Kevin.
and since he's not happy, we're gonna move on to Coda.
This guy, I cannot believe you right now, Matt. I'm about to berate you in front of all of my friends in this group. You are going to get it.
B rate. He's gonna give him a B rating, which would be crushing to his reputation because he's an all-A student. It's okay, guys. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I don't know what I'm talking
Kevin,
about.
you're being such a Greta Van Fleet right now, stealing my material, and I'm not a big fan.
It's funny because you didn't have
Hey,
any
Kevin?
material.
All right, I'll tell a joke for the audience right now. Okay, let's see, what's a good one?
I got one.
All right, tell it.
I got one. Okay, you ready for this? You guys ready for? I was gonna save it for my stand-up routine, but it might offend some diabetics. Or children. So you ever think of why insulin's so expensive?
Why?
Well, you know, Santa Claus is going around one night a year eating like hundreds of pounds of cookies and milk. So he's probably got really bad diabetes. So he's probably taken up the world's supply of insulin. So he's driving up the price for everybody else the rest of the year. So he just because of that 1 year of him eating fucking all those cookies that you guys put out for him and never even thought that he might get diabetes from eating all these cookies. No, you didn't. No, he needs extra insulin because of this shit. And now you drove up the price to insulin. You know, insulin is the number one, like, priced liquid in the world.
Really?
There's, like, Tyra-grade blood, which has, like, a bunch of benefits to stuff. And then there's insulin right above that. And the only reason that's so expensive is because of Santa Claus. No, it's because you need it to live.
Yeah, they could charge more. They could be an asshole.
Like,
Okay, I got one right here. I found this on the internet, so you know it's good. A ham sandwich walks into a bar and orders a beer. Bartender says, "Sorry, we don't serve food here." Why did the Clydesdale give the pony a glass of water? Because he was a little horse.
You just make me think of jokes I can't tell on this podcast.
What do you call a fish without eyes? See, there's no I in it. Isn't that funny? These are great.
No,
These are so good. Actually, I got one.
See,
the other day,
since I can't say the R word, that's deficient.
So
It doesn't sound.
That's
It's a bad insult.
So I was. Yeah, oh my gosh. So I went to Walmart the other day, and you always know it's a great story. I was walking, and I was coming right about there, and this lady.
He was about to climax.
Yeah, I was about to climax. And this lady comes. No, I'm joking. This lady, she's zooming in her little scooter thing, and like runs over my foot. Says nothing as an apology, and she keeps driving in there, and then I come through the door and I hear a loud bang, and I look, and she knocked over the Oreo display, and it's everywhere, and she just like started speeding away.
That's hilarious.
And then one of the Walmart workers like, "Miss, excuse me," and she's like, "Oh, you want to talk about my disability?" And then she just kept driving away. But meanwhile, she was one of those really fat bitches. And like, you 100% sure she doesn't have a disability?
When she ran over your foot, you should have just been like, ah!
I'm lawsuit. But then I saw her in like the movie section, and she got up out of the cart, walked over, picked some movies up, put it in the cart thing, and then drove to the front. And then when I was checking out about the same time as her, I ended up not buying like any like DVDs or anything. But I went up to the front, I got Annie Ann's, and I turned around, and she was zooming out, and she had gotten like 3 bags of stuff. But like she's zooming out, she gets right to the out thing, and then like I saw her over at her car. She just like got out of her cart thing, threw all the food in the back, and then just like walked up, hopped in the car, and then drove off. And I'm like, she didn't have a disability. Her disability is that she's a lazy.
I'm not.
She's a lazy fat fuck. You're a fat fuck, you motherfucker.
You know,
you
like
fat motherfucker.
Growing up, I always saw those carts at the Giants and stuff.
They're called rascals.
Rascals.
And you gotta go rascal tipping.
And I was always just like, I wonder how long it's gonna take before like just regular fat people are gonna start sitting in these.
And it's happening.
Yeah.
What's really funny is South Park did an episode about rascal tipping, going to Walmart and tipping them over. It's so funny because can't get up, I'm in trouble here. And to our morbidly obese listeners, we're sorry. We don't mean to offend.
But also
It was a good joke time with Alex.
look. Here's how
And Kevin.
how to say this without
A
being
luscious,
insulting.
amazing
We're
experience.
concerned about your health. Please lose some weight, guys. It's
Go for a walk,
like-
get on an exercise bike.
You might think that
lift a weight.
we might need to be more open to your weight gain, but I think you need to be more open to worrying about your health a little bit more, because you can't have
This
that
is
much
serious talks with Kevin and
weight
Alex.
and not get some health problems. All right.
Health problems with Kevin and Alex.
So we got one more album. It's not technically like one.
And then we
an
have a couple
official,
more things.
Yeah. I don't remember any of these being on the album.
Oh, okay. I can
but
tell you what the real album
I know
is.
which ones are on there. It starts off with it's
Well,
Coda.
The album is Coda.
The album is
1982.
Coda, which if you have studied music, you would know that in classical music, it ends with the coda. It ends with the coda, which means the end.
With the ending.
Alex is a bit, let's say, deficient today. All right, it starts off
Full
with
deficient.
with "We're Gonna Groove," "Poor Tom."
Yo, that's about time.
Yeah. There's another one. "Poor Tom." That's a song, not a joke about Tom.
Poor ass Tom.
"I Can't Quit You, Baby." The other version of that. "Walter's Walk."
That's a good one.
"Ozone
Decent.
Baby."
That's an interesting.
I always
track.
liked that one. "Ozone
Yeah.
Baby." It kind of hit me in a weird way.
The Bonzo's mantra thing is like, I don't even know.
We're
man.
not there yet.
Don't even know. We're not there.
It's
until I
Darlene.
say-
Darlene.
Get out of my way.
It's
Kevin.
Darlene, and then it's Bonzo's
Darlene.
mantra.
Get out of here with Darlene. Nobody
Darlene.
even likes that song.
Darlene. Yeah, I don't even.
Not
I
even-
can't think of it.
Not
on the
even
top
like
of my head.
diehard Zeppelin fans like us like it.
Hey.
Wouldn't it be
you
cool
don't
if
know
like,
me.
hey Kevin, wouldn't it be cool if we actually like
We're
talked
good.
about the topic instead of your things? Like, Kevin, I understand you want to talk about yourself.
You're the one. on topic.
Kevin's always off topic. Like, it's so hard to corral his ass and get him back on topic.
Then we got wearing and tearing.
Yo, tear that shit.
Wearing and tearing.
For the ripping and the tearing.
I think that's it. Oh, there's other songs that says that it's on the album on the internet, but they're not.
Hey, remember when Led Zeppelin was bad? Neither do I.
Oh. You know, when
Oh.
John Bonham died.
Oh.
They were bad then because they...
Okay,
In a
let's
bad
talk
way.
about it. We forgot to talk about it earlier. Song Remains the Same, the movie. What are you feeling?
I was going to say something about that when I said "Song Remains the Same," the song, but I figured we save that for later because it's a live one. "Song Remains the Same" is fucking amazing.
Live album and concert,
movie.
But the movie also has some really crazy moments where they do some other stuff.
I heard "How the West Was Won" before I heard "Songs Remains the Same." Sacrilegious.
can't even believe you right now, Toaster Strudel.
It's all right. I didn't hear the BBC sessions until recently, and there's
Well,
songs
it's
I
good.
didn't hear on that.
Yeah, some
Like-
good stuff.
Like, there's still Led Zeppelin for me to hear, and I was happy about it. And I was like,
Yeah.
are you kidding me?
You got new Zeppelin.
A little
Yeah,
bit.
for you who haven't actually listened to Led Zeppelin, like they'll bro your world. They'll blow your mind, man.
Oh, man. I mean,
Incredible.
if you haven't heard Led Zeppelin, I envy you. You guys are like...
It's cool because you get to experience it for the first time again. Well, for the first time ever
So,
for
like,
you.
I until recently, I haven't heard Traveling Riverside Blues.
Oh yeah, it's
And
a
that's
good
an
one.
amazing one. I love that one.
Yeah.
I like that one. I mean, there's a couple others on there that I don't recognize. Wow. What a loser
I just think it's funny.
I am.
If you were here and you looked at the table, you'd see 4 empty water bottles, a thing of goldfish, 6 bones from some chicken wings we had. I made barbecue chicken wings, but I also like lemon zested them, and I did a little bit of parm on top.
Let's just say
And they're real good.
it's good. It's not a video cast. Not yet. So
Yeah, we wouldn't videotape this. This area is not purty.
yeah, not in the current,
Not at the moment.
Not at the current.
And that's why
status.
I do think going forward, I'm doing a lot more video stuff, but I do think I definitely would like to probably keep the podcast just audio going forward because it works.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you guys like listening to us while you're doing stuff. Like
Yeah, and it's
like,
cool that like
I get the fact, like, I get video casts are a thing and why people like them. Like, I like to watch them every once in a while, but like most of the time, people that are listening to podcasts aren't watching it. A lot of time I don't have the time to watch a podcast. I mean, like, just sitting there watching people talk.
Do you want to sit and watch me and Kevin stretch and scratch our balls?
You can watch us flip each other off instead of us describing it to you.
We are the only ones. I am the Tragically Hip.
We're gonna start a band called Calyx. It sounds
so
like
original.
Calyx, but it's
It's going to be called Galaxy Quest.
Galaxy. It's
Yo,
gonna be
Galaxy Quest-
Calyxy.
Galaxy Quest is the #1 film of the 1990s.
That I was gonna try and bring that back with
I
Led
love
Zeppelin
Galaxy
somehow,
Quest.
but there's
Castle
no.
Alhambra feels like Galaxy Quest. And this is the moment when I admit to myself that I am a crackhead. I'm joking. I love you guys, and I love the heroin. No, no, stick away from that shit, man.
Yeah, well, I thank you guys that have stuck with us so far. I mean,
Don't do heroin. You heard it first here. Nobody else has ever thought.
yeah. In case you haven't known, here's a little PSA here. Drugs are bad.
Drugs are bad.
Drugs are bad.
No, okay.
I do not condone
Drugs
drugs
are
drug
bad.
use. But
Did
for
you
real,
say butt? That offends me. That goes against my gender.
anal.
Did you really just say that to me? How does that make me feel?
But
Kevin, I don't like your attitude, mister.
I'm just trying to thank the listeners here.
You're trying to thank yourself.
I'm trying to thank the listeners,
You're
and you're
so full
trying
of
to
yourself.
sabotage my thanking the listeners.
You're trying to sabotage my amazing Kevin.
Well, guys, the guys that have listened to us, and the guys and the people,
For the guys and gals.
the guys and gals that have stuck with us through the times. Yeah, you guys are great. Tell others about our podcast if you think it's worthy for a listen.
If we are worthy of listen,
Don't forget to subscribe.
subscribe, like, comment, follow me. Not personally, but like online.
You know, like
Check out my glass Instagram.
check out Michelangelo's paintings.
Check out Alex's music stuff.
Check me out. And if for the lovely single ladies out there, I mean, you can check me out too. I mean, I am a golden god. Like fucking Robert Plant. I was reading in one of the books. Like apparently he opened a
says that,
window and he was
yeah.
like, "I'm a golden god." And Jimmy, and
that
Jimmy
was
Page,
LC75, I think. The
yeah,
one-
and Jimmy Page in there's just like, "Shut up, Robert."
Yeah.
Like. And meanwhile, the only reason why Zeppelin doesn't have a reunion tour is because Robert Plant refuses.
I hear different things. I always hear different things. One time I heard it was because of Jimmy.
No,
the other time I
Jimmy.
hear it's because of...
It can't be Jimmy.
I
he's
hear
the
it's because
best.
of Robert more than
I
anything
am
else.
Jimmy Page, and I am a guitar god.
Robert Plant actually just started a new
Robert Plant started a new
band.
plant.
I do like Robert Plant's solo stuff. That's why one of the things I want to talk about here. So we got Song Remains the Same. It's a good live album, but it's a really crazy movie. Definitely suggest it. I would say it's probably one of my favorite concert movies. For me, like my all-time favorite music movie is The Wall, and I think it's incredible. I don't think anything is ever going to top that for me, but you know, Song Remains the Same is great.
That's not a movie. It's an experience.
Oh yeah, baby, just like that.
You got the
way I like
4K
my
The Wall?
podcast,
You got the
talking
4K?
about movies.
4K The Wall.
This is the first time we talked about music on the podcast, which is kind of cool. But we're still finding a way to talk about a movie.
Well, Alex kind of brings it back to movies a lot.
Always movies, Kevin, because I am the one with the talking stick.
No, you're the guy with the bookshelves of movies.
and the bookshelves of records and guitars and
music too.
albums and babies and
The third plane of existence,
Let me
the quadrilateral
Let me show you how
identity.
fortunate I am and you aren't.
you're welcome.
Is there anything else you would like to talk about?
Kevin, there is more than enough time for me to talk.
Not if you keep fucking around.
I'm joking. No, Kevin's face right there was like, bitch, please.
This motherfucker.
He's like,
Motherfucker.
he's like, this motherfucker, you gonna get it.
This motherfucker's gonna get slapped by this mic.
So we
which
got-
is kind of heavy.
It's got some swingage to it.
Like, it's not like heavy. Like, I'm not getting fatigued by
I could probably beat a small child with that.
I could beat Josh Braun with this.
Yo, freaking! I really actually hope Josh is listening to this with his weenies out in Mansfield.
Little hot dogs.
What about Womansfield? There should be a school called Womansfield because it's the only appropriate.
I don't
way.
think there's enough counties that represent women.
On the way up to New York, when we pass by where my mom grew up, there's a place called Scott, PA, and it's always funny because we're like, "Hey, look, that's where my dad is. He's in Scott."
Fuck does this have to do with Led Zeppelin? As Alex sits there pondering how the fuck it is relative to Led Zeppelin. I thought you had something to say. You're like, oh, I got something.
No, with Mansfield, Josh
Times
Braun, and
to say.
everything, and
Yeah. I forgot you were talking about
Josh Braun is my favorite human pickle. No, he's the human
Pickle.
When I think of Josh, I think of a giant piece of fried chicken that was out in the sun a little
I
too
think
long.
he thinks of a giant something else. It looks like this fucking mic here.
I was trying to see how high I could get that note, and then
like
it just
that-
disappeared.
that
So
old man-
all the dogs listening just were like, "What the fuck? Man? Fuck you, asshole! Yeah, you know only I can hear that."
Dog's just like, the fuck are you listening to?
Every dog's like, "Fuck you, motherfucker! You fucking fuckity fuck." Yo, let's see. Yo, let's get the record for most fuck said on a YouTube video. Fuckity fuck fuckity fuck fuckity fuck fuckity fuck fuckity fuck fuckity fuck.
A little statistics thing for him.
Yeah.
And it said, like, within the first couple minutes, he said it 100 times.
I don't think I'm going to top that.
Yeah.
I'd really have to go ham.
I mean, I could probably do that genuinely talking, but like when I'm performing, I don't typically
Swearage.
swear.
You don't
much.
use the swearage.
I also don't.
Speaking of swearage, how about Live Aid 1985? Zeppelin had a reunion. They played, man. They played Live Aid.
It wasn't Led Zeppelin. It was just Jimmy and Robert.
What the fuck did you just say to me?
It was Jimmy and Robert.
Did you just correct me in front of my friends? Did you correct me in front of my friends?
Yes.
You fucking
Yes,
asshole.
I did. But yeah.
That's going to be my selling point on this episode online. I'm going to be like, I say fuck at least 100 times.
We might. I don't know.
Well, because I was like, fuckity fuck, fuckity fuck, fuckity fuck, fuckity fuck,
Alex says,
Are you trying to go with that one band that I don't think sounded good?
What, anal
was it?
cunt?
Their guitarist died or something like
Anal
that.
cunt's...
That was part of
I know
the
people who actually like that
2018
band.
year 18 review.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, the guitarist died. I think.
Anal cunt?
Yeah, yeah.
You know, rest in peace, anal cunt.
Yeah, guitar player.
So Live Aid with
Fuck.
Zeppelin, man. Then Robert Plant and Jimmy Page had those two albums they did, with the live album and then the studio one. They're all right. I think they're worth a listen. The No Quarter and the other one.
Aren't they just like the older songs?
No, one of them they did new stuff.
Okay.
It's the purple one, and the other one was red, and that was their live. That was No
purple
Quarter. I have their live show of that too. It's pretty good. There's also, Jimmy Page had a solo career. Robert Plant did. I like Robert Plant's solo albums, and Jimmy Page's solo albums pretty
like
decent
Outrider.
too. The Firm.
Outrider.
Yeah,
You hear
Outrider's
that?
good. Yeah,
I love that.
I have the Firm over there. That's a good band.
John
Jimmy Page
John
did.
Bonham's son was actually on that. I think on Outrider.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe it. Yeah, that's pretty good.
I think he grabbed him and then did that right after, like when he finally got his shit back together.
And then
after
Robert Plant, those albums he did in the '80s are even pretty good. Everything through like Now and Zen.
that. See, I feel like Jimmy was really affected by it. Like when John Bonham died, like it really hit him hard because Led Zeppelin was his project.
Yeah.
But Robert Plant was more just like, what is next type thing.
Yeah,
Like,
Robert Plant went to the next
Jimmy
thing.
Page is just like, fuck, like shit.
Jimmy Page never really recovered.
Yeah.
Like he never hit a pinnacle. Now Robert Plant had some hits, like
Now and Then, I guess.
Well, no, one of the big ones. I'm in the mood for a melody. I'm in the mood for a melody. I'm in the mood. You don't know that song?
I don't listen to a lot of Robert Plant. I don't really like
make it
his
dance,
stuff
make
as
it
much.
thing. I make it dance. I make it thing. I want you to.
And you're not like
I'm
making
in the
it.
mood for a melody.
You're-
I'm in the mood.
You're
for
not
a
making it
melody. I'm in
any
the mood.
more like
Desirable.
appetizing for me. You know?
And you're like, now I don't want
just
to
like,
check it out.
yeah, I'm not gonna check it out more.
Then there was another one. He did a song called Big Log, and it's not about his dingus.
It's about the big shit he took the morning before.
He's like, my wife gave birth twice, but I gave birth in that bathroom this morning. That's one of my favorite jokes where Larry the Cable Guy was talking. He's like, my wife was in there delivering a baby. I was in the bathroom delivering a baby, too. He's like, Popeye's chicken comes out real hard. And it's like, wow. Larry the Cable Guy, like, he just disappeared. Like, he came around, he was huge for a while, and then he was gone.
Well, I think he made his money.
Yeah.
He must have like just he's chilling.
The one he was joking about, he said, I was walking through the streets of L.A., and I saw this cripple gang, and they came up there doing their gang signs at me.
Well, he did Cars, and then I guess
He did Cars 2 happened, and then they threw him in the trash can because everybody hated Cars 2.
Yeah.
Well, Cars 2 wasn't good.
Yeah.
It was the only Pixar movie that I'd say is bad. Like, bad. It's pretty dumb. It's kind of watchable if you're...
I like Cars as the idea.
I like the first
but I didn't
Cars
think
movie.
The first one was good, but I didn't think it was great.
It's not great. No,
It's
Toy
not like,
Story's great.
like A Bug's Life. It's
Bug's
still,
Life's better,
like,
yeah.
It doesn't have that quality that the older one. It's for a newer generation. That's what it is.
See, I like Cars,
Younger people.
but, like, the sequels I'm not a huge fan of.
The sequels of
Cars
most
2.
things aren't good.
What, are you trying to tell me Jurassic Park 3 isn't a masterpiece? Come on, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom 2 was definitely where they really took the ideas of the first one and they really just absolutely, nailed it this time. They didn't totally fuck up and make a bad movie because that can't happen because it's Jurassic Park. There can't be a bad one. It's not like the last three were awful. Oh, wait a minute. They were.
We can talk about this in a Jurassic Park episode.
We could do a Jurassic Park episode.
We should do a Jurassic Park episode. Because I got a lot of stuff to say about what you just said.
You know what? I'm kind of nicer about it than other people. Like, I thought Fallen Kingdom wasn't terrible.
I liked
thought it was
Fallen
watchable.
Kingdom, and I also liked Jurassic Park 3. But Jurassic Park 3...
But you like Jurassic World, though? Did you even like Jurassic World?
Yeah, I like Jurassic World.
There's two of the Jurassic Worlds. Do you like both of them?
Jesus Christ.
Do you like all of the
Okay,
movies?
I'll get into this.
Do you like every movie I have, Kevin? Because if you don't, we can't be friends. All 1,500 of my movies.
Okay, I like Jurassic Park 1 for sure. That's the best one.
Yes.
Jurassic Park 2 is great.
Yes.
Jurassic Park 3 falls off there.
Yeah, big fall off.
Jurassic World kind of rekindles it a
It's
little bit.
okay, they tried.
It gets most of the way to Jurassic, The Lost World. So it makes most of the way to the second movie.
And then there's
Jurassic Park Fallen Kingdom, which I still think is close to around the goodness of the third one.
The goodness. Yeah, it's probably better than the third one.
Yeah, I think it's...
The third one, my favorite part about the third one is the part when he falls asleep on the plane and he looks over and the velociraptor goes, Alan. and it wakes him up and he's like,
part is hilarious.
It's so funny. Yeah. It's so funny. I don't know that it was intended, but it's so funny.
I used to not like, I'm blanking on his name.
Paul Newman.
Jack Kirby, the character, Mr. Kirby. Mr. Kirby.
The guy who invented Batman?
His character. I used to not like that guy's character, but then watching it again, I realized how good of an actor he is.
In what movie?
Jurassic Park 3. Jurassic Park 3.
Who are we talking about? Which character?
I'm trying to think. You ever see the show Shameless?
Oh, yeah, that
Frank?
guy.
Yeah. I forget. I'm blanking on his name. But he's a good actor. If you watch Jurassic Park 3 again...
Macy. That's,
yeah. William H.
Macy.
Macy, yeah. Yeah, he's a good actor. And he does do that role good. I just feel like that wasn't a good character.
And they... Yeah.
See, the thing is with that, it was the one that wasn't made off of the
Spielberg.
books.
No Spielberg.
No Spielberg, and it
Big problem.
wasn't made off of the books. The first two had books. And on the topic of Jurassic Park, do you have anything to say about Led Zeppelin?
Because, when I think Jurassic Park, I just have to think about Led Zeppelin. Because of that scene in that movie when that thing happened.
At least we talked about Lord of the Rings, because if you can't talk about Led Zeppelin without Lord of the Rings, a little bit.
In the darkest depths of Mordor, I met a girl so bad. She was a ring. Anyway, I also have to say, how about the reunion with Celebration Day? You like that? You a big fan of Celebration Day? You big fan? You like Led Zeppelin? You big fan? You big boy? Big fan? Big boy?
Oh, you asking me?
Big boy? You big fan?
Celebration Day was a good performance. Yeah, it was great. I mean, they
Meanie
tuned
Big Boy?
down and stuff, and they
Sounded cool.
They performed as strongly as they
As they could.
Yeah.
I had fun. I enjoyed it. I have the 3 LP box set. It's cool.
That's awesome.
You want to see it? I'll show you my collection.
Do you want to see the cover?
Do you want to see my Celebration Day?
If I show you mine, will you show me something?
Yeah,
of
you have to show me your
yours?
Star Wars box set when I come over tomorrow. First thing.
You mean those
You
things?
said you said there was something you had to show me when we did the Star Wars episode last week.
Yeah, I got
You got Ting.
TV Guide
The Tingle
special
Skala.
edition covers.
Do
you want a Wonka? You want a Wonka? What a Wonka?
Waka.
Wonka, Wonka.
You know what's really funny is that I think Led Zeppelin's one of those bands that, as long as there's people picking up guitars and playing music, Zeppelin's gonna be played at guitar centers and Sam Ash's for the rest of the time.
Yeah, people will be
man.
getting kicked out of Sam Ash for playing
Playing
Stairway.
man. Well, we barely talked about Stairway. It's one of the greatest songs ever composed. It's this multi-part thing that just keeps building up, gets to the climax, and has one of the greatest solos of all time.
Well, while we're on that, they just recently got sued from
Spirit
because of the song Taurus.
Yeah, it's kind of close, but like, here's the
Not
thing.
really.
It's not the same song.
Yeah, it's just
Well,
like
Taurus is an instrumental, so you can't even say they stole.
I
like,
used an arpeggio, and so did you. So you copied me.
Yeah, like, I want it to be known that I don't think Led Zeppelin stole that song from them. And even if
Here's
they
what
did,
I
who
think.
gives a
I think they're jealous. I think
Well,
Spirit's
yeah, if you're
jealous.
fucking Spirit, you know.
They made money on it, and I didn't.
Well, Spirit sold probably what, like a 50th of the
They
album
sold
Zeppelin
a album.
did? If that.
They sold one
Well, here's the
album.
thing. Led Zeppelin sold over 500 million albums. Spirit would be lucky if they have like a total of 2 million.
Yeah, that's true. I never even heard of Spirit before I heard that they sued Led Zeppelin.
Yeah, I think they were just trying to get
And, like,
themselves in the
Do you
limelight.
really want that reputation? Like, oh yeah,
You're
I
the
heard,
band who accused
I heard
Led
of that
Zeppelin.
band because they sued Led Zeppelin. It's like they're assholes.
Cannibal Corpse said Led Zeppelin went forward in time to steal songs from them and then went back in time to steal them. And you hear that and you're like, this is the dumbest fucking thing I've ever
that's just
heard.
Them being like,
It's Cannibal Corpse,
Yeah.
so you gotta take it with a grain of salt. But
I bashed my head into a refrigerator and Jimmy Page told me he was Jesus.
that sounds like an accurate story to me. I'm not gonna question that. Now, real quickly, I want to talk about.
Quick. Zodiac. He's drawing some Zodiacs on here. He's the Zodiac killer.
No, I did the Zoso thing.
So what I hear is that he got
They all
those
had symbols.
Yeah, he got those symbols out of some
like a cult book or something.
it was some black magic type I think it was more astrological.
Yeah, what if that really helped them? I
Thing.
think they hacked into the deeper, darker secrets of the universe.
But I think Zoso is like Saturn or something like that. I'm not sure, but
Maybe.
it has some meaning behind it. And Jimmy Page is So. Robert Plant has
Is
like
the-
a wheat
it looks like a plant.
leaf. John Paul Jones has a I forget what it's called. It's
The triad thing, the Treyarch symbol.
Treyarch symbol. Yeah, it's a Treyarch symbol.
Treyarch. Call of
Original.
Duty,
Yeah.
Modern Warfare.
And John Paul
Modern
Jones
Duty,
has
Call of Warfare.
John Paul Jones has the 3 circles
Mhm.
encircling each other, and I think that's awesome how they have those symbols. I used to
It's so
draw
cool.
them all the time.
Yeah.
Stuff. I have a shirt that I made in an art class, and I have them on the sleeves.
That's cool. Like, Zeppelin just felt like a band where, like, you could have all that stuff and it worked. Like, meanwhile, another band does it. If you don't earn it, you can't get away with it. And they were so good, they could get away with whatever they wanted to.
Led Zeppelin was so great because they had such a variety. Like, they didn't... Like, Pink Floyd's Pink Floyd. They have their Pink Floyd sound. Led Zeppelin is just, like, what genre? Like,
Yeah.
folk, blues... They got some ska in there. Got
Take that, Beatles. You didn't do ska music,
No.
so... Hashtag Zeppelin winners. Hashtag winning.
when did ska start coming around? Though were they even around when?
See, no, that's why I'd call Jamaica as a reggae song, because, like, ska was, like, a thing in,
Is
like,
ska,
the 90s.
reggae, like really different?
I don't know. See,
I thought ska was like
It's-
more of like the
I don't
correct
know.
term of reggae.
Dude, like, I don't even know where my shoes are right now. So, like, asking...
they're right there.
so asking me where ska music came from, I don't know that.
Gotcha. Don't know about
I
music.
know a lot of shit. Ska music is not my forte.
Well, maybe you should brush up on that because
Thank you, Kevin. Thank you for correcting me in front of my friend.
I didn't correct you. I was just
Oh, condescending, too.
yes, that's it. That's what I was.
He
doing.
admitted it.
I was condescending to you.
The
And
truth is out.
and
And
and what else do you gotta say?
Kevin...
He's awesome.
Free real estate.
Me undies.
Me undies.
I keep going back to that. Maybe eventually they'll hit us up, and then they'll be like, "Stop saying me undies in
Me
your
undies.
podcast."
What's that from?
It's. I could tell you, like, all right, here, a little free advertising for me undies. It's a, yeah, you can use podcast name Bill Burr here for your savings. MeUndies. It's a natural tree-made underwear. They make, I think they make like pajamas and stuff too, but it's like it's made out of trees. How do they get it so soft? I don't know.
You heard it here first.
Heard it. Unless you
heard it
listen
here
to
second.
anywhere else that
Heard it here
that
third.
advertises MeUndies. Maybe they'll get back to us and they'll correct me on how wrong I just was about their company. And
Maybe they should pay for some advertising, you know? Hey, I mean, if you want to... Hey,
if you want us to get it right, then pay us
anybody
for
want to
it.
get an ad in, you contact me. I will gladly take your money.
I don't think that's how it works. I don't think they hit us up. I think we actually have to contact them for this.
That sounds like work, though. Your face is priceless. You're like, but wait.
This is work. This isn't work. Wait, is this work? What is this? Guys, why don't you tell us with a Patreon support?
Yeah. Well, we are working on that Patreon
Yeah.
account. We're looking to do some other stuff.
we got
it's
some
gonna be
plans
a lot.
in the works. It's going to be
We got some actual video reviews coming.
it's going to be interesting to get that all together. But Alex, do you this was a good Led Zeppelin review. You got any more
I just wanted to be
topics?
said, I have a Led Zeppelin mothership poster in my basement, which is really cool.
That's cool. I have the
I have the
ultimate
LP box set.
I have the ultimate, like the Led Zeppelin ultimate, like set, and it just has like all these documents, like ticket stubs and stuff like that from like concerts
So what
over the years.
So what you're
It's
saying
pretty
is I
fucking
should
cool.
smother you with a pillow tomorrow and take it. Leave.
Not before I beat you with this mic.
But I want that set. It's the Zeppelin. I can never.
Zeppelin. It's the Led
It's a lot of fun. It's fun for the family and the friends and the kids and everybody should like it and,
And
love it because it's the only good thing in
Everybody should get in on it. It'd be
This
perfect.
is Disney. We're never wrong. Oh. We've only ever made perfect movies.
Like Black Panther.
Oh, we went there.
You heard it first here.
Actually, you heard it first on
the other
the Oscar
episodes.
podcast, if you listen to it.
And judging by the view number on that one,
Yeah.
we didn't. Like,
That's
it's
okay.
funny because, like, the first several things, like, have great view numbers. That one dips, and then it goes back up. It's like, what the hell? You guys hate the Oscars? Why do you hate us?
I hope this Led Zeppelin one has many of you.
This is going to have 8 billion views by the end of tomorrow.
We're gonna be as fantastic as the wall. National crisis.
Man.
We're in a national crisis, everybody. Shut it down. We need to build the wall. The Mexicans are getting in.
Gotta build the wall to keep us out, right?
Yeah, I know, right?
To keep
Is
our
it
music.
see, all right, is the wall to keep the Mexicans out, or is it to keep the Americans out of the rest of the world? That's the real question. Never thought of that.
Hashtag maybe they will pay for that wall. They're like, we keep America out of our business.
That's actually a good idea.
Okay, yeah, we'll do it. But yeah, no, down in my basement, I got that Mothership poster, and I have a Zeppelin Tour 71 shirt, which is really cool, on the wall. And then I have other stuff.
He's got some amplifiers. He's got some guitars.
Got some
Pedals.
Got some guitar pedals. Some flower petals because it's beautiful.
This is getting a little off track.
We are going off the rails on the crazy train. The
Going
crazy
off
train.
the rails on a crazy train.
At this point, everyone is disappointed in us, Kevin. They
At this
trusted
point-
us.
Yeah, at
They
this point,
trusted us to take care of them.
everybody
and
was just like, I was listening, but I'm leaving.
Now I'm done.
I heard Kevin
I
sing.
trusted them.
I've now heard Kevin sing, and I can die unhappy.
Hello there, new listener.
Hello, I am Alex Fair, and I suck cock. Oh, that was a
That was George
misinterpretation.
Takei, man. Like, why do you make me...
Well, isn't he gay?
He is.
so
Thank you.
if he was making fun of you, he could say that. Hello, I am George Takei. Pretty sure it's George Takei.
Dick.
Takei.
George
Takei.
Dickhead.
Oh
George
my
Dickhead.
God. We're on to Star Trek.
We're going to do an episode on Alabama tomorrow. Stay tuned for the new episode.
And we have 50
Dude,
more episodes to do of all the rest of
We
the
have
states.
another Honey Boo Boo episode coming. Yo, I want to do a series review for Honey Boo Boo because it's so bad, but I couldn't do the whole thing. My consciousness could only take probably about 15 minutes of damage. Any more would leave me with permanent mental deficiencies.
Oh, you'll probably still have them.
I watch 10 minutes of reality television and my brain don't work.
Hey, you talk to Tom, you don't get that.
Talk to Tom and your brain don't work.
Yeah.
So, Tom, I hope you're listening. Because
Not this long, not after the first fucking half an hour.
Yeah, we insulted him at least 5 times.
In the first half an hour.
Tom,
Everything extraordinary.
I wish you weren't here. How I wish you weren't here.
Hey, look, your wish was granted.
Yay! No Tom, no problem.
Speaking of Led Zeppelin, poor Tom.
Tom actually likes Led Zeppelin. Didn't he say in that first episode that he's like his favorite band was Led Zeppelin? I was like,
Tom, his second son, his sucking cock.
Tom had never listened to Zeppelin, and then I got him to check out some good music, and then now he's like, oh,
Are
I
you sure?
listen to good
Are you
music.
sure that he wasn't just saying that so he had something to say? Miley Cyrus. What's your favorite band? Off the top of my head, you guys like Led Zeppelin. That's my favorite band. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. Come on, Taylor Swifty. Come on, let's go.
Do you have little things in your shirt there? Oh, that's the brand,
That's
CK.
my nipple. Yeah, it's CK. I got this
Chicken.
From, I
What's
got
cock?
this shirt from Louis. Oh.
You got it from Louis
Oh.
CK. I get it. He stole it from Louis CK.
Yeah, it's got no stains on it, guys. It's okay. Oh, look at me profiting off of his end of life, basically.
End of life. You heard it first here. Louis CK's on the ICU.
Oh, God.
You heard it first here.
Watch, it's going to say that and I'm going to get, like, arrested.
What did you do to Louis C.K.?
He did it to himself. Or he did it to others. Did it.
He flashed his winky. Not me.
Yeah, this is a strong way to end the podcast.
Strong way is when you go 2 hours talking Zeppelin, and the last 13 minutes are
Talking about
a dick joke and
Louis C.K.
Louis
Let's
C.K.
bring in Bill Cosby.
No, we're not going there. Jumping on that grenade for you guys. Boom. You're like, oh, not gonna go there.
Oh, jeez.
How about those reviews from Alex coming out on this channel, huh? Kevin, have you heard any of them?
Who?
My reviews on the channel?
I watched one of them, I think. I watched two of them.
Because I played it for you at your house and you had to. You're like, no.
Okay, then I listened to 3.
Yay! No, but yeah, I'm gonna got a big announcement. You know, the reviews are gonna be videos now. Well, for the most part, I'm still gonna do my 2-minute reviews as just audio with the posters.
You don't just get to listen to them talking about movies; you get to look at them talking about movies.
We're gonna work to that point. For right now, though, just hit the mic again. Josh just lost his shit again. But
Stroke.
hashtag wonderful. Hashtag this podcast is the best. Hashtag share this with your friends. Hashtag
PewDiePie.
you heard it first here, friends.
Subscribe.
Like, subscribe, and love me. I need a lover, not just a toucan.
I mean,
I had to make love to a toucan for 3 years just to survive.
you sound like Will Ferrell.
Will Ferrell.
Hello.
One album. One person. One time.
One balls on a drum set.
The ability to change lives through balls. Step Brothers changed my life. It impacted me in a way that no other film has.
Okay, let me bring this back in the only way that I can.
Let's bring it on home. Let's bring it on
home here.
Bring it on home.
Would you like to end the podcast in any sort of way, Alex?
Yes.
You got fooled and you got fooled. I gotta send you back to school and way down inside. Woman, you got love. Gonna give it my love.